He will be here momentarily. Thank y'all for tuning in. Sorry we are a little late. We had a little technical difficulty, but me and my brother AJ are in the building and ready to go. AJ.
Man, I just got back. I said, let me, there's this barbecue place right by the dentist office.
Uh-huh.
They make baked potatoes, right? I got a picture of the baked potato on my page. Baked potato, man, is about this big
Oh my gosh.
with everything in it. I'm like, I want to get one, but I got this show I gotta get to. Plus, I was dancing with this poem, and I'm down to the last bit of grit that goes in it.
Oh wow.
Man, you have no idea, man. I'm it started out just a write. I was just gonna write this you know, let me write this little ditty for impromptu.
And
No,
it
this
turned
ain't
into a monster.
this yeah, this ain't that. This done turned into but you know what's up, what's up? I gotta log on my other thing in a second, but I can't because I gotta use my phone for this. But
Man,
no, man, it's
you got a new phone, AJ?
no, I got an old phone. I had to get my old phone just
Your old phone, your camera look crystal clear. Man, I don't know what that phone. I mean, you look crystal clear, bro. I like that phone. If you just tuning in, it's 10 times now. Me and my man AJ. He's on. We on YouTube. Come on YouTube. Coach Josh Smalls. Come on YouTube. We're going to join the conversation. If you can't join the YouTube or just choose to stay on IG, that's fine. I'll get back and forth as much as I can. But YouTube is the best way to be on. Or you can watch us through Facebook as well. But come on through. Take your chill and put it in your back pocket. We're going to talk about any and everything. We got a few topics we're going to discuss today. A few things we want to make sure we got clear. Because we never want to steer people in the wrong direction. We always want to make sure you know exactly where we stand. Because if I don't like some shit, I'm going to tell you. And if I love some shit, I'm going to tell you. But I want you to understand why I choose to like or dislike of things. Not just because, just because, but it's usually a reason behind it.
yeah, that there. See, that's the thing. Because a lot of times I hear people with with varied opinions,
Mm-hmm.
people of notable quantity or quality or whatever you want to say it. I hear their opinion and I'm like, I'm trying to see why don't you tell people why that's your opinion?
Why? Right.
Because a lot of times I don't understand why your opinion is so negative, and I don't really think an opinion doesn't have to be negative when you expound. This is why this is why I look at this way. Just like I tell you, our first conversation had to be the little DNA, the ancestor.com and 23andMe and that conversation that we had last time, because I didn't know that we had left it open ended.
Yeah. I didn't either, but we can always rectify what we missed.
Oh yeah.
Explain. Minnesota girl, we're not doing open mic just yet, but if we just start, I definitely will. Where y'all talking about tonight? We're talking about everything. We got a few topics we're going to address first. We're going to announce those in a second. We'll let AJ take the lead with that. There's a few things we're going to talk about we go back to what we were talking about last week. Like I said, I'm going to let AJ take the lead and jump in. You're welcome to ask questions. You're welcome to put your information in, whatever you want to do, all your opinions. All of that is welcome here. No question. The only question that is not a good question is a question that's unanswered. So ask the question and we can roll with it. The only dumb question is the question that you refuse to ask. So, but I wouldn't say dumb, but it's wrong. It's like, it has no value if you don't use it. You got $1 in your pocket and you never use it. You just got $1 and that's it. But come on in.
I'm missing something.
What phone? Congratulations. Right, his phone is very clear, right? I wasn't the only one. Tiffany saw it too.
I don't have a new phone. I need a new phone.
Well, you don't need a new camera. I can tell you that.
I need a new phone, but no, man, I'm trying to figure this out because I emailed from my phone when I was working on and I don't seem to have the last version because my phone started the other day. I was writing this poem on my phone, and I looked down. It just started deleting. I'm saying, like the delete was stuck. What's up, man? It started deleting. I'm saying I had to close the phone, open back up. I'm like, I don't know what I missed. So now what I do is when I get to a certain point, I email it to myself. I email it and I keep writing because
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to lose. But what up, Mandy? I don't want to lose the last version. But this drug of charge, I'm saying I'm to the last part. I'm to the last. I'm saying the last part.
Wow. No, Miss Betty, I don't believe she has, but I will keep checking for her information. And thank you for giving the information. I will keep checking for it. Miss Betty got someone who's running for office in Mississippi who's going to be contacting us.
Okay. Well, the brother online, he does Black Man Reading.
Mm-hmm.
That's the brother I met in Mississippi in Hattiesburg when I was in Hattiesburg. Okay. That's the brother I met that when I met him, I had sold this guy my Black Book of Black.
Okay.
He was over the young alphas, and he was meeting at the same place I held my open mic.
Okay.
So I'm in there setting up and we talking. He said, "Yeah, man." And he said, "Yeah, man, I was over to this guy's house the other day and I had this book." He said, "I sit there and read the whole book."
Wow.
I'm like, "What?" He said, "The Black." He said, "Wait, what you say your name was again?" I said, "AJ." So you AJ Houston? I said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, the Black Book of Black." I'm like, "Yeah, man." I said, how is this not a chance meeting?" I said, this don't even make sense. But no, man, but he's such a dope brother. But I'm gonna talk to him about who's running because I'm trying to get him on board because if he in Mississippi, he should know.
Yeah.
The person. So talk to him.
And for all y'all that's tuning in, we're asking you to ask your representatives that are in your neighborhood, that's running your cities. Ask them would they mind coming on and having these conversations, because we need to know who these people are and what their idea is in our neighborhoods. And if you don't think that's important, I want you to get off of this live and don't ever come back. If you don't think that's important, because you need to know what people are planning to do in your neighborhood. And so we want you to have your representatives. I don't care what position they're holding, senator, governor, whatever, any kind of congressperson, aldermen, whatever chair they're holding in your city. If they are a representative in your city, we're asking that you ask them, will they mind coming on having a conversation with us? The reason being is because we want them to say the things that other people aren't asking. And we don't want them to be politically correct. We want them to say exactly what it is and give you a chance to ask them the questions that you want to ask. What are you doing? Who's going to fix these bugs in my road? Who's going to help build your senior citizens program here? Who's going to help bring these community centers back? And if you don't think that's important, that's fine. I'm just asking you to not be here, because I have no reason for you to want to be if your community isn't important. If your community is not important, now we've set the stage for it. We got people coming in. We ask you to invite people, invite your friends. They may know somebody. You may not have it, you may not have the courage to ask. That's fine. Ask somebody to come on. We'll conversate with them. We'll give you the wording to ask. We'll ask you for their email addresses. We'll send information. And so we just want to get people on that's running for office in our. They don't have to be in my community. They be in your community. They don't have to be in my city. They be in your city. We just want them on here to talk to the people, because we count. And until we start showing them that we know we count and that we matter, they're not going to pay us any attention. But this is a way for us to get engaged with those people who are writing the laws for you in your city, each and every one of you, for you in your city. And those are the folks we want to get on. And again, if you think that's important, that's fine. Just don't be here, because that's what we're dealing with. And we're going to have fun. We're going to have jokes. We're going to do posts. We're going to talk about writing and all this stuff. But we want to really, if you're not registered to vote, ask us how to help you get registered, because that's what we're here for. If you don't know, if you're not registered, I want you to hang up now and go find how to get registered and then come back.
Now tell us what city you're in. We're gonna find somebody in your city to visit you and bring your registration.
Yeah.
And walk you through the process. But no, I'm saying, but I keep hearing people saying, that about voting. And I'm like, you have 43 states right now. 43 states are trying to reenact 253 new laws to make it harder for us to vote. You had Mitch McConnell yesterday.
Say those numbers again, Edgy, because they might not have heard that. Say the numbers again.
43 states. 40. And I think I'm still thinking it's only 50, right? It's only 50 states, right?
Last time somebody said 52. I mean, your 45 might have added 2 more on from somewhere. Go find them 2 states, you had to go find them some votes. So who knows?
Yeah, but we got 43 states trying to enact 253 new laws to make it harder for us to vote. Yeah. And if you think your vote don't count, why do you think they keep purging people from the roll.
That's right.
Making it harder for the vote, trying to make your count lessen, moving your polling places. All these things happen when, and I couldn't imagine that 43 states, how many minorities in these 43 states ain't registered to vote? Didn't vote. Didn't think their vote count.
Right. Well, 2 of those ain't registered and then didn't vote.
Yeah.
You know, we got some that didn't vote and they was registered. Which really blew my mind. That's like going to put gas in the car, but you ain't going nowhere. You know you ain't going. You ain't going nowhere. You're gonna I just want gas in the car. I don't get it. I don't get it. Mel, make sure people know there is a primary coming up. Right. There's a primary coming up. Gifted, you want to come on? You want to come on? I can send you a link. You can come on here and talk to us. Because I don't want people to think that it's just us, right? I want people to understand that this is the whole nation. It's not just us. It's not just us.
But John, before we continue, I just added this line. It's probably 2 sentences from done.
Okay.
I haven't edited it yet.
Okay.
But I want you to hear what it sounds like.
All right, cool.
Okay, this piece is for Impromptu's writing prompt. It's a picture with like some powder and some drugs and some pills and stuff on it, and it's like, you know, what's your drug of choice? So this is what the writing prompt did to me. It's a drug of choice. It says every ounce of powder, crumb, peel, dust, dot, microbe I've ever found, I crushed into smaller portions, small enough to mix with ink. Insert back into my favorite writing utensil. My drug of choice are trees. Or rather the aftermarket product created from them. I spent years in Trees Anonymous. In Triple P, pen, paper, pen, trying to recover from this addiction. I got pens in pockets of suits I haven't worn in years. Got shoes made of Bix with fine tip soles, wearing refillable socks. My drug of choice be unfiltered paper with or without lines. It took years to master the proper way to process powdered ink. I get high on books and bindings, thick spines, black pages. My drug of choice be thought. Those unbound, free, usually pointed. Though the ones impossible for you to get the smell out. Those turned away, shunned by unbelievers. My drug of choice be sound. The kind ears are afraid of, forcing writers to keep their hands in their pockets. I got pens that make noise when they write. Pages cry too much. Got verbs and metaphors asking, why me? Can't stand when ink is disagreeable. My drug of choice be hands, fingers able to caress a writing instrument, calming the shaking, the anxiety in the ink. A whisperer to paper. It is always safety first. How do you protect a thought that cannot protect the origin from whence it came? My drug of choice be dreams. How they come, open palm, fire fist, roundhouse kicks. The texture resembles heaven with the heat of a couple of hails. How dreams feel when you breathe life into them. How replacing ink intravenously with living liquid given you by your parents will force a dream to walk. Make dreams pray. How dreams don't care much for talent, just follow through. Just truth, yours in the making. How dreams will leave you when you fail to keep your word. My drug of choice be verse. Those built from broken hearts, from broken bones, unsettled spirits, wishing to be sound. My drug of choice be poetry. How it feels when you live it. How a stage is a home, no roof, no walls. How a mic is the delivery system of promises. How wishes don't need wings, just a truth sayer. How poetry can save a life when drowning in despair. When you can't and don't know why. My drug of choice be truth. How it feels when you write it. How ain't no dress or pants gonna make it pretty. How truth only lives when it's naked. My drug of choice be prayer. No scarred knees, no claps hands. Humming, no singing, amens can wait. Got words on a mission. Sometimes it's hard for heaven to listen when it's all tradition. No skin. How you gonna pray when you ain't sacrificed an eye or a leg? My drug of choice be fire. How messengers are instantly combustible if they can't spit the truth. How these words form matches, making you believe my tongue is ablaze. Believe these pages lit themselves in flames. But that's all I got to say for.
Yeah. I'm trying to take notes and shit.
No, man, but I like that, man. I gotta finish this piece.
Yeah. See, that's how when I started writing that poem, what's your favorite color?
Yeah, I need some say colors. Yeah.
That's how that took me, right? Because you hear a prompt and it takes you to another place thinking outside of what the normal is. Everybody's like, oh, I love blue because of this, orange because of that. But when your color becomes, life, when your color actually has given birth, it's a different thing. So it's like that poem, it took me to another place opposite of what the prompt actually probably asked for. It's the prompt didn't know what he was asking for when he was talking to us.
No, I didn't. But I was like, my drug of choice is going to be all these things you didn't even know drugs could be.
I had
all these things you didn't even know were addictive.
Right. I hadn't even touched that one yet. But it's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, I like the I've been in Trees Anonymous.
Yeah. But that pen paper pen is beast too. That pen paper pen is that's pretty beast. That's beast. Yeah.
But I just like the way ideas form themselves, because I don't know if we have found a way to unbridle our thoughts, to release whatever inhibitions we had about writing something that would make sense to everybody else. How we saying, I'm gonna make me understand that I'm making sense to you.
Right. Yeah. I need to address something too now that you said that. I got a message for all of my creatives that are out there. All of my creatives. I don't care what genre you're in. I want you to listen to this story, right? I got a message today on Instagram, and someone asked me. They said it was having. They wanted some help with writing their poems, and I asked them if they wanted to come to workshops or they wanted one-on-one, and I sent them information, and they said they don't have money, and that struck me because that might be the next Maya, the next Langston Hughes. That might be the next. You know what I mean? James Baldwin. They were amazing writers, right? And I said, how do I help this particular person without going out of my way or help hurting myself in the process? And so I had to still give ideas and message. And then I said, well, wait a minute. Before I even do that, I asked him, where did you hear about me? If you didn't know that, I charge a fee to coach people, how did you hear about me? And the person said they heard about me on YouTube. And I sat back for a second, I thought about it. And it made me realize the importance in what you put on social media. Because had I put the wrong thing, that person would not have reached out. And so what I did was I thanked them, number one, and then I asked what was giving you the disconnect with your writing, why, and then I kind of gave pointers on that. And then I encouraged the one thing that I want a lot of poets to start doing. Encourage writers to go listen to other poets.
Man, don't you remember when we first started talking? I say let me give you a couple of names of some people you need to check out.
Right.
Because we all know somebody that has a tongue that paints with sound so perfectly that you would see the picture before they spit it.
Come on. You ever been, and this is for my creators. I know AJ know the answer to this. There's a time when you can be sitting in a chair and you can watch a poet, the way they walk to the microphone, you be like, oh shit. The way they pause to get the crowd settled down before they deliver a poem, before they open their mouth, the way they look, you can pretty much feel the air thicken. And it's because you've tuned in. And when you get to that point, you can find that in there. There's so much magic in listening. I find magic listening to some of the worst poets.
Oh yeah, because my thing is, a lot of times we don't see the impact of sound. And I'm actually saying it right. See the impact of sound, because there are times when somebody can say something that wasn't meant for you, that's meant for you.
Yeah. AJ, I started this poem about someone losing their son. And I started writing it yesterday, and I read it, and I didn't know this poem was taking me there, and that's because I'm hearing, and poets listen to what I'm saying. AJ know what I'm talking about. I'm hearing what I'm saying, and so when you start to hear that shit, you walk differently.
Yeah, it starts to matter.
Yeah.
And you know,
I can't even give this poem to this person now.
No, but check it out. Let me tell you what that's like. You know, I saw people laugh when they asked me and said, "Are you a poet?" I said, "No, I'm not a poet. I'm God's echo."
Mm-hmm.
See, now what you're saying is what echoes sound like when you are the source of sound. See, it's hard to call yourself an echo when you're the source of the sound, but you don't know where that shit came from.
You know where she came from. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It got to be an echo. But the first time it came was out of my mouth. But so where else could it come from?
Yeah.
It came from a source unbeknownst to us, but it belongs to you. So when you tap in on what energy sounds like when you convert it to ink,
yeah,
ain't no method for that. You can't teach nobody that. I can show you how to walk, but you know, like my dad used to say, he say, I don't walk on water. Teach me how to fly.
I love it. I'm putting that shit in the poem. I'm stealing it. Daddy, I'm stealing it.
Yeah, he's I don't walk on water. You want to teach me something? Teach me how to fly.
Wow. No wonder you right. Your dad was giving you all kind of shit you didn't even know.
And that's what I tell people. I say my dad wasn't a poet, but he was such a profound thinker.
Yeah.
And the way that he mixed thoughts and life was supernaturally, I'm saying, amazing.
Yeah.
Because I'm saying, you know, I'm from Dallas. We got all kind of hoods. You know, E-Man talked about him being from Bonton and all these other places. We'd have played basketball in Bonton. You know, these were fighting areas where you go. My dad would be over there drinking with some folks, whooping people in dominoes, taking their money, and say, "I got some sons that can whoop y'all's asses in basketball. who the best players over here?" And I'm saying we would go places, don't even know who we about to play. He done went over there and bet some money and told them we can beat. So we get over there. It's a whole big crowd. They got balls. They're on the court waiting for us to show up. And this happened in West Dallas, South Dallas, East Dallas, Bonton, everywhere, North Dallas, you know. And it was like, how you get to all these places? How you know these people? But what he knew if he said we could do it, we was finna get there and tear y'all ass up.
Do it. Yeah. It's funny, you know, my dad. I don't talk a lot about my dad. I miss a lot about my dad. My dad was introduced to something that became his crutch at a young age. No 13-year-old should have to deal with what he had to deal with. And I'm not giving him an excuse, but the reality of things happen when you put yourself in that person's shoes. What my dad went through at 13, I might have died. It might have killed me. I don't know.
But that there, see, that's the lesson you're supposed to do. Because I always say, if you're reading what you're learning, if you're learning who you're teaching.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the worst pain, the worst part of life you've been through is the lesson you're supposed to teach somebody else to avoid.
Well, I feel like I'm in church. I'm telling you.
And I'm saying, and we don't know what lessons feel like until it's our turn to teach.
I had to tell my brothers that don't be so hard on our father, because you got to put yourself in his shoe. I don't know what was right or what was wrong, but I know the wrong that I know happened for sure. That no opinion can change it. It was wrong, and I know that a lot of that wrong had its effect on who my father became. But my father, I don't even know if he finished high school, but my father can read and speak Spanish. He can read and speak Arabic and Hebrew. And obviously this broken English bullshit we talk from the street. But what I'm saying is my father's penmanship, if my father writes this bare hand, right? It looks like, I mean, his handwriting is pretty like a woman wrote it. And you don't get, you know, people was labeled as ex-cons that write like that, you know. but he's a well-versed. If he give a lecture, he can give you a lecture, and you don't know if he's Muslim or Christian. He can take you through both Bible and Quran, like it ain't nothing. You won't know what he believe in. And then on top of some of the things he would say, one thing I always love people say that my dad told me. He said, "The best religion to practice is to do unto others as you have them do unto you." He said, "If you do that, you what else you got to worry about? People gonna do what they want to do, but you do your part." And I was like, man, like, how does this thug have this type of but that's who he is, you know?
But you know, like my dad would tell you, he said, look, he said, I dropped out of school early because I was working, you know, it was a bunch of kids, so I was working. He said, I went to school twice for my brother Charles in the 5th grade to take some tests for him because he was stupid.
Wow.
and this is what he told us all our life. So my father would say so many things you didn't know if he was making it up, if it was for real. So you just had to take it and just wait. Your father was born in Marlin, Texas. My father's from Greenville, Texas. My father was born in Greenville, Texas. Yeah. No, but he would say things and you just sit down and you just have to shake your head like, I don't know if that's the truth or not, but I'm not even gonna further this conversation by asking. I'm just gonna let it go.
Y'all come on YouTube. Come on over to YouTube. Yeah.
No, man, it's amazing, man. It's amazing to me how when we rediscover that we don't know what gifts are until you start using yours.
Come on, AJ.
See, because, you know, I used to think I could sing. You know, my family, we grew up singing. We used to sing gospel. They used to take us to all these churches. We'd sing. My brother still think he's the best singer in the world. I got a sister that sound like anybody.
Wow.
Anybody and everybody. She dope. My older sister's dope. Sing and I, you know, I can sing, but I didn't like singing because we were always singing other people's songs. And I've been writing all my life. Okay. And I would hear the song and I'm like, okay, that line don't make sense. Let's change that line to this. And they used to always be mad at me because they say you always want to change something. I'm like, no, I hear it better this way.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that gifts are problems until you start trying to infringe yours on somebody else. See, a lot of times I don't need you to like my gift. I just need you to get the fuck out of the way because it's my gift.
That's just my gift. You know, the irony in you saying that today. Yesterday, I was a friend of mine I've known for 20 years. She called me. She said, "Listen, I know you're really busy, but there's a youth poetry group in California, in LA, that's doing something tonight for my school. Is there any chance you could just come on and just speak? You don't have to do a poem. If you could just come on and just speak." And I said, no. I'll come on, I'll speak, and I'll do a poem, no problem. And I went on there, AJ, and the poems that the children had picked, man, was like, man, why? And they were asking, why'd you pick those poems? And I was supposed to come on and get out because I told them I had stuff to do. I delayed what I had to do to stay there for those children. But the reason being is because, see, I posted this earlier. When you accept the gift that you were given, not when you start practicing it, when you accept it, it take you places you ain't thought. I didn't think I was gonna be speaking to no kids in no school. I do that all the time now. But it's because I accepted the gift that I have. I didn't know what this gift was gonna do. I was writing love poems. I was writing poems so my homeboys could get some, get love letters. I'm putting people marriages back together. I'm saying, okay, well, look, just give her this poem and taking some candy and the wine. You know what I'm saying? That's what I was doing. And then I'm healing people, helping people heal themselves. I ain't healing nobody.
Man, I made more money in basic and AIT than the Army was paying me.
Wow.
I had a line of people at my bunk telling me about their situation, and I was writing poetry for them to send home to their girlfriend.
That's it.
And then I'm from Dallas, so at the church I went to, it was like 4 girls just like me. So, and I liked all of them. All of them were probably my girlfriend at one point in time. I wanted to be. So they were writing me. I was writing all of them. I was writing all of them poetry. So when I came home on leave the first time, the pastor's wife, this was like my other mother. She said, Jeff, come here, I need to talk to you. She said, I just want you to tell you that every time you send a letter, the girls get together at my house. They'd be in the room, they'd be reading your poetry and switching letters to, just to let them know what you're saying to everybody else. I say, no problem.
Yeah.
I said, I've never written the same thing to anybody.
That's it.
And she looked like this. I'm like, I'm good.
These ain't come up no zero.
They can't be mad because they know. And I'm not gonna say it didn't happen.
I can't now.
But, yeah. but I'm saying I ain't never, it's bad if you send people the same poem or the same line or something. I'm like, I ain't never sent the same poem to nobody. So y'all can get together, talk about my shit.
Yeah. But you know what, AJ? Like before I started really pushing full time with my poetry, my ex used to say, man, I don't know why you waste your time.
You know something that is, man, my ex told me, because we started Forward Slams, right? So we had another event we did in North Dallas on Sundays at Fifth Avenue. We had another event we did sometimes we had a slam on Tuesdays in downtown Fort Worth. Then it moved. Then we had them on Thursdays. But we had other days, like Wednesday, we had something somewhere. But we was doing all these places. But we were inviting all these poets. We were growing all these brand new poets. So she told me one day, she said, well, whatever lady you're going to see, you need to tell her, you ain't got to come home. You can stay with her.
Wow.
So I just held my little portrait bag up. I say, here, you can tell her.
Look what I got next. Look at the bag I got next to me.
It's Southern Fried, yeah.
Yeah, you can tell her.
Yeah, you can tell her, because I'm like, hey, because I'm saying I've never tried to date a poet or tried to talk to anybody in poetry. I'm saying I don't do that, because I was trying to tell people, I say, I take this art too seriously to play with it. I said, because you will wind up in a poem and will fuck your life up.
When I wrote a few things about my ex, but my thing is, I didn't lie and I didn't judge you. I said the actual facts. And if that bothers you, it should have bothered you more when you did it. And so, but I'm looking back and I'm saying, imagine if I was, and mind you, when I was writing, this is when I got disabled out of work. So I'm already depressed. My back hurting. I'm sitting down. I can't do nothing. I can't go nowhere. The lawyers ain't did their job yet, so I can't even walk to the store, or they're gonna be filming me, right? And imagine if I would have just fed into that. We wouldn't even be on this. We wouldn't even be on this live right now.
But check this out, y'all. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna switch over to this and switch this to my Instagram, because usually I know it's probably some people thinking that we ain't doing 10 times now because they don't come to the YouTube. Okay. But stay there while I switch this. I should be able to be in the queue on that one.
Okay.
On this,
Yeah, man. She told me straight up I was wasting my time, and I man, that hit me so hard. But it didn't make me. I mean, I was like, well, shit, that's fine. I'll show you how it works. And now I'm in your city where you from. And hell, if you do a Google search and put 2 initials in there, you're going to find me all over the place. So you're in trouble. And I'm saying, like, you can't go. I've had the longest weekly poetry event in Charlotte, North Carolina, up in the uptown area. You know what I'm saying? And so now I'm saying, how can you, you can't even go uptown without seeing my name somewhere. My name printed uptown.
Okay, I'm switching this.
Okay. There we go. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was that echo. I knew it was gonna happen that way.
Gotcha.
No, but no, I'm saying, because when you told me where you were, and I've been there, because I was at Nationals when it was in Charlotte.
I was here, bro. I was here.
I was at Nationals. I was walking the streets. See, because there's a poet right now doing street poets. At least he has this thing called street poets, right?
Okay.
I'm not gonna say his name. Popular poet. But since 2001, every Nationals, I was street post. But what street port was,
up a little bit,
me taking my camera. I'm freezing?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, street ports was me taking my camera and getting ports saying, okay, come outside, let's go to this corner. Let's go to this building, in front of this restaurant, in front of this truck, in front of this. And when the light turned red, I want you to spit this poem in the street.
Wow.
And I was videotaping poets doing their poem on the streets. And that's what Street Ports was. And Street Ports was a part of my company, not just Alphabet's part of the thing that I've done since 2001. And then I started seeing other people that I saw at nationals that saw me doing Street Ports start doing Street Ports. and I think a lot of times we didn't, because if you like me, I never thought that anything I did was finna be this big or this giant thing, except for the books that I printed. But I'd always do something. I'm like, I'd invite people, y'all, come on, let's do this. We can make this big. We make this. And then somebody else will go DBA the name, or somebody else will go do this. And I'm like, so this wasn't your idea. And we don't know what it looks like when somebody else think we got a good idea, because we don't cartoon it. We don't know light bulb come on over our head and just start glowing and shit. That would be perfect, though. I would like that.
I would like it too.
Yeah, that way you say, look at that boy thing. Look at that boy thing.
Oh, he got something coming.
Because that's what I love about cartoons. Cartoons taught us classical music, right?
Yeah.
Cartoons taught us all the things that they wouldn't teach us in black schools.
Charlie Brown, Bugs Bunny, all of them. Yeah.
And now cartoons don't teach nothing.
No, you got stuff like Cat Dog.
No, Uncle Grandpa.
Uncle Grandpa. What the hell is that?
Because when my son started watching that, and I told him, I said, well, first of all, tell me, what is an Uncle Grandpa? How did you get that title?
Because it's some adult shit that was going on for you to get a title like that.
Exactly. I'm saying so. And that was my point of trying to let him know that, look, this ain't making sense, because for it to make sense, you would have to know some shit you don't need to know right now.
That's the thing. Every movie or story, somebody had a reality check that gave them that idea. Or whether it was a dream or whatever. But a lot of times, people have been through some horrific things that allowed them to be creative from that.
Yeah.
But
the funny thing about that is, I always tell my darlings, when we watching something, she say, "Oh, let's watch this. This is based on a true story." I'm saying, yeah, it could be somebody named Sarah, it could be somebody named Bob, and that might be the only true part of the story. But every movie they got out there is based on a true story. That's what they say, based on and I'm like, everything can't be based on a true story. What's up? I'm late logging in, but I've been on here with Coach Ja 10 times now. This is what we do on Thursdays, 10 times now with Coach Ja Smalls. And if you want to follow, if you want to see the actual talk, go to his YouTube at Coach Ja Smalls. The same place you can go tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern time and see Coffee Time with Ja. So there's a lot of things you can check out if you just follow this right now. But yeah, we're talking about how we learn classical music and what cartoons taught us that was worthy of us speaking on it right now.
I'm gonna tell you, AJ, every Malcolm X movie, every movie that put Malcolm X in it, I hate. Not that they're bad movies. The Godfather Harlem, I love watching it. Malcolm X movie, I love watching it. But you mean to tell me in the Malcolm X movie, you saw fit to have Malcolm X put his head in the shitter, in the crap bowl, but you couldn't go deeper into what he was actually doing during the time when he said that people was trying to kill him? When he started exposing who he knew was trying to kill him, you couldn't see, and don't get me wrong, because I love Spike Lee movies, but you got his head in the shit bowl, but you couldn't see room to put that part in there? That was important for you to put in? You could have jumped. Don't get me wrong. Look, for a movie, it looked good. Look at the Godfather Harlem. They got Malcolm X arguing with Elijah Muhammad and hanging out with Bumpy Johnson. What the fuck kind of sense do that make? They got people actually chained to beds to calling themselves doing a drug rehab program. Got people chained to the bed. Now, if the government knew they was chaining people to the bed, they would have closed the whole nation Islam down quick. But this is what I'm saying. It was based off of real. These are based off of real things. This is actually shit that we based off. It's bullshit. It's bullshit.
Well, you know, it could be that there was a rehab program.
Right. We know.
Okay. Just to let you know how that works. The first Birth of a Nation movie in 1913 or whenever it was, Birth of a Nation was the story about the invention of the Klan. And the president watched it in the White House. Woodrow Wilson, he said, "This is an excellent movie. This is like writing history with lightning." But see, the Klan in that movie, the Klan burned crosses. That was the first time the Klan ever saw a cross burn. It was for the effect, visual effect in the movie.
Wow.
Which became a reality.
Yeah.
So Klans didn't burn crosses before that movie.
I didn't know that.
They didn't burn crosses before that movie. So it just shows you how sometimes they say based on a true story. No, the true story came off the movie based off of bullshit. Because people start believing what they see.
I was told that, and I'm not gonna make mention who it is because I don't want y'all to be running and shit. But somebody that everybody well know the name, and I really believe in this brother for a lot of the truth that he's always told. They called him all kinds of things, but never called him a liar. That's for damn sure.
Okay.
And you can call me whatever you want. You just as long as you don't call me a liar, that means I've been telling the truth all this time, and all this other shit you put in the newspaper, just whatever. He said that he was in Jamaica at a summit, and they were having the film writers summit or some sort of film people summit in Jamaica. And he said that they were talking. He was talking to the folks that were running the thing, and he said they actually create film and movies to dictate the future. Think about that. They create film, movies, plays, all these things to predict what's going to happen in the future. Not that they're writing it to make the shit happen. They're predicting.
But that is exact translation of what I just said about Birth of the Nation. That they wrote this and they say, wow, that's what we should be doing.
That's what we should be doing.
Look how much fear that drove them in the movie. You know, so I think, to me, I think where we are right now with poetry, because this streaming service, this streaming media that we have, where you can stream in the UK and we can go live with you. You're streaming in anywhere in the African continent and we can go live with you, or in Ireland and we can talk. But now we see that there's not a lot of difference in what's happening in these 43 states in the United States and what's happening in the UK right now.
That's right. That's right.
There's a lot of difference. So we have to understand that our mission is not marching anymore. Our mission is to stop this madness. Our mission is to say, okay, so because our goal is I just want to see what it looked like when Black people voted 100%. That's my goal. I just want to see what it looked like when Black people voted 100%. So if I can get 100% of people to vote, it don't matter who you vote for. I just want to see that number. You know how on the scales at the fair park you used to hit had that big old mallet, hit that thing to make that bell go up so you can win that bear. People stood around because they just wanted to see what 100% looked like.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to see 100% in something.
Can you imagine? And AJ, adding to what you're saying, bro, like we are in the prime time for this. I want everybody on this feed that's in here, y'all listening, right? Start writing down the positive shit that happened during this pandemic. Because what I tell people all the time is start writing down the small
and stop,
right?
Stop shouting all the negative shit.
Right. We ain't gonna talk about none of the negative shit. Talk about all the positive shit that happened. In fact, if you are a poet and your poetry had not grown in this, in one way or another, whether it's learning to write better, whether it's politicking, making connections, whether it's performing better, whatever it is, if it had not gotten better during this pandemic, you need to not never use the internet ever again in your life. Just write telegrams, make smoke signals.
Wait, say this sentence. Say that sentence again.
You need to never use the internet ever again. Do smoke signals.
You say you need to not never.
Not never. There you go. You need to not never. You know you've been in the South too long. You start saying all kind of shit. Not never. I bet you they understood it.
Not never use. I'm like, not never use. I'm like, I don't
think that go together.
No, it fit perfectly. That was the problem. I understood it. It sounded like music. I understood it. I'm like, I'm not supposed to be enjoying a sentence with not never in it.
It's like reggae music. You know, it's a beat. It's off beat, and you imagine a beat that don't never show up.
Yeah. But you know, it was something you said the other day. I'm trying to think what it was. You were telling me, and I meant to bring that up. But the first thing we were supposed to talk about is the DNA.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
So you know, there's 23andMe. There's Ancestry.com. There's some other companies, and they will actually, swab your cheek, send you the swab, and you send it in, and they will tell you where your bones are from.
Yeah.
Or the many places that your blood has moved through.
Yeah.
And I just want, and somebody asked me, they wanted me to clear it up. So I want to just paint this picture. This is the way I'm going to paint this with this story. I can only paint it with this story. So imagine that these people were captured in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
They were maneuvered from wherever they were to the shore. Don't know how many people they went through to the shore, how many stops, how many places they stayed, how many other nationalities were there when they stopped, how many times women were raped or whatever. Then they were placed on the ship. They placed on the ship. The ship might have went to Bahamas or different islands that had these caves where they stored slaves until they were taken to be sold. Mm-hmm. Then they left there and they went to the shore of where they were sold. So then they were sold on auction blocks and they went to here. So now we have 400 years later, you swabbing your cheek because you want to know where your ancestors came from. But the problem was created that you needed to know because America separated the people when they first got here. They didn't write the names properly in the ledgers. They wanted to say girl approximate age 13, boy maybe 9, man, woman 3 kids, and this is how they were listed. They didn't have names, so it's hard to trace anything back. But when any other nationality came here, they say, okay, they went through this place. Let me stamp your passport. Where you from? What land are you from? Why are you here? So there's a whole difference in somebody saying that they were slaves in America to somebody being slaves in America.
Right.
So when you swab your cheek and you get America's record of where you came from after you pay this $99 and maybe it's discounted $69 or $49, whatever it is, you got to remember that this problem was created not by the company that's trying to solve your issue of finding you, but by the country this company's registered in that created the problem of why you don't know where you came from. So my issue is not with any of these services. My issue is that when you come back and you got 12% Irish and 13% Portuguese and 3% French, and these are not relatives that you want to meet. These are rapists, because I told you in the beginning, you were drugged from Africa to the shore. How many stops from the shore to the ship, from the ship to the way station, from the way station to the place you were sold. So now 400 years later, you got all these parts and pieces of all these other countries in you. Where they come from?
Where they come from?
Where they come from? Can they tell you when it was injected, when it was inserted in your bloodline? So there's some questions I got that can't be answered with these tests. And I'm not trying to deny anybody the ability to go and find where they came from or find your origin. Just know all those people that's in your bloodline ain't your relatives.
Ain't your relatives. They ain't your relatives. When you think of, go ahead.
No.
When you look at that even deeper, AJ, if you think about it, that means somebody snatched me and was hiding me in the place before they can take me to another place to get to a place to take me. You understand what I'm saying? And so if you're hiding something, nobody knows this something is there. So your great grandmother don't know who impregnated her. How do they know who did that when they were hidden by pirates and barbarians and cavemen or former cavemen? Okay, if you want to get technical, former cavemen. But there was barbarians. They was what do you call them? Them crusaders. It was those folks.
Oh yeah.
You know, and you know, I met someone who carries the last name of someone that I know, and one side is white and the other side is black, and the non-black side has a record of the great grandfather who on his who wrote slaves off to belong to other family members when he died.
You take these five. These
20,
five belong to you.
Yeah. And it was 20 some odd human beings that he gave to other family members. And it said in the writing, this woman and all children she may bear belongs to you. I want y'all to listen to the wording of these hellions. All children she may bear. And they've given, and so the one person said if I would contact the other person because I knew both sides. And I did because it was asked of me. And I don't know, I hadn't heard back. And it might be exactly what you said. I don't want to meet the rapist of my family. It may be that. And I thought about it. I'm actually in the middle of a modern day Roots. I can write Roots from real stories. And actually, the family members that were handled, this was in the because they put all that shit in the newspaper back then. This shit is all legal documents in the fucking I can go and check it. It's public records.
Microfiche. You go back microfiche and check it. Yeah.
Ain't that some shit? Or 20 some I want to, it was either 23 or it was 28 human beings when this person died said, you take these 4, you take these 5, you take these 3, them 2, and all the children that they bear belong to you.
But you know what that made me think of, Josh? When I was in the army, right, in Germany, one of the soldiers under me was driving a 5-ton and hit a cow and killed it. So the government sued the army to pay for the cow. But the list of how they wanted them to pay for the cow was that the cow would give good milk. So they say over the cow's lifespan, it would give about this amount of milk. So we want you to pay for the milk the cow would give over its lifetime. And the cow would have this many calves that would probably survive.
Wow.
And this many calves would probably be milk cows. And these calves would be meat sold. And that meat would probably be worth about this amount of money. So what you're saying about this person and all the people that would come from this person is the same way they would sue to get this money that didn't make no sense, the amount of money they're going to charge for killing a cow. For accidentally, for a cow running in the middle of the street and getting ran over, basically.
But you can kill a black man and walk scot-free.
No. You can find a man that just killed whatever number of people with a long gun and
walk his ass in.
Arrest him and give him water. And then say, I talked to him. He say it wasn't racially motivated. He was just having a bad day.
Just having a bad day. Hey, September Virgo.
And
send me a message because I got to send your mug. So send me a message to remind me because I got to send your mug. I'll send it off tomorrow. Go ahead, AJ.
I don't know what kind of bad day that is, man. I don't know what kind of bad day that is, John.
Because if a black man didn't have a bad day, nobody should be allowed. The shit we have to go through, everybody should be dead. That's the damn thing.
Now I'm saying a black man bad day is making a right on a yellow light and getting pulled over and not making it home. Because they want to talk to you about the red light you almost ran, the red light you didn't run.
Didn't run. Did I ever tell you the story that my family called me Safety Boy?
No.
My brothers named me Safety Boy because when you get in my car and you get in my front seat, I don't put the key in the ignition until you put your seatbelt on. I do that for two reasons. Number one is safety, of course. Number two is the best place for me and police officers that I don't know personally is two separate places. And so I don't want to give them no reason to want to look at me. Yeah. That can't be a reason that they do it. So they call me Safety Boy. Now check this out. I'm leaving my brother's home. I'm driving. Mind you, they call me Safety Boy, right? I said that, right? I just want to make sure I said that part. This police officer pulled me over, told me I ran the red light. Pulled me over, red blue light. Boop, boop, boop. You know, I pulled you over. I said, no, I do not. You ran that red light. I said, I ran that red light. I did. Okay. Because I know you goddamn lying because hell, I don't even drive without somebody else putting a seatbelt on. So I know I ain't run no goddamn red light. But I'm just saying that fast is a bad day for a black man.
Yeah.
And if I'm not conscious enough, I might not make it home.
Yeah. And it's amazing that no matter how many times we tell the story or how many times people see it in real life, they still got questions. You know, because it always used to be, well, you know, he had to done something. Look how his muscle reflex going the way they've been in his arms. He resisting arrest. I'm like, arms don't bend that way. I'm sorry. So you can tell me to stop resisting, but this is a body that works, has a certain function, and it's not the way you're trying to make it. So you can make me look like I'm resisting arrest because my body would not react the way you want it to, but that don't mean I'm resisting arrest.
Not at all.
And there's things that we keep telling people was happening, and they didn't see it until George.
Yeah.
Then it's oh man, this really happening to people. What happened? Okay, did he steal some in the house that he went and looked in that everybody else's went and looked in because the lights were on and the walls were gone and the garage was up? Did he steal something?
Right.
They say no, but they showed that he went in the house, and that was a reason that these people wanted to stop him and question him and shoot him in the middle of the streets. But the owner of the house say, look, I got video of white folks coming in here looking around the house longer than this black man looked.
Exactly. Way long.
So when we start seeing the difference in treatment, such as I remember when the ruler of this nation wanted to go and hold a Bible up in the air. He wanted to do his Bible walk. I call it the Bible walk. He wanted to do his Bible walk, but there was black folks in the streets with signs saying, stop killing us. So he needed some soldiers to go and shoot them with some rubber bullets and throw some tear gas and push them back out of the way so he could go in front of this boarded up building. It used to be a church. Nobody been there for a minute because COVID done shut everything down. But he wanted to go and hold this Bible upside down in the air as though he's one of them generals on them statues on that horse with that sword up like he won the war that lost.
Yeah.
It looked like the same thing to me. It looked like you're in a position of glory and you can call it glory, but you can lie just like you say these Confederate generals are worthy of being heroes.
Yeah.
You can't be a hero when you're defecting.
You sure can. You know,
but we don't want to know the whole truth. We would let you tell us what you want us to hear and believe it because you told it to us.
And won't say nothing about it. Let you say the whole tell the whole lie. And act like, oh yeah. Well, that's just how they are. That's just how they are. That's okay.
Yeah.
No. Not in my book. You ain't know just how you damn are. I got something to say. There's somebody asked me, I had someone send me an email because somebody I'm running for public office. They said, here's a email just in case you ever decide to run for public office. I said, no, they don't want me in public office. I tell you, I watched John Henry Clark, and he said Adam Clayton Powell. They told him black people wasn't allowed in there, and he said that might be before now, but okay, we'll see. And said he went out and got the tallest, darkest, blackest person he could and washed his ass right in that White House for a dinner, formal dinner. They'd be like, "Why y'all let this damn poet come in here? Y'all should have never told." Every time I got a debate, it'd be a poem. They'd be like, "Sir, you know how they be tapping? Time, I yield my time, I ain't yielding shit. You can carry me out of here. I'm gonna poem y'all asses to death. And then when I'm done, I'm gonna have poets lined up outside, waiting for you. And we ain't gonna be singing no damn kumbaya either." Shit. I ain't running for no damn. And I say I won't run for public office because my tongue is not politically correct. And I'm not gonna chop my tongue to fit that. I'm not gonna chisel my tongue to be politically correct.
You know, I thought about it, but I'm like, y'all ain't got to dig up nothing on me. It's right there on the surface.
Yeah, everything is right here. Anything you want to know. Yep.
It's right
I owe some damn child support for some kids that I ain't know nothing. That know I had child support for. Yeah, I owe that. What else I got? I've been arrested one time in jail overnight, and that's all you got on me. That's all you got on me. You can pull anything else you want out.
I ain't been arrested. I was in jail one time. I went to jail because I had a ticket. I had a ticket for no insurance, but I had insurance that just wasn't in the car. So I called the court and they said, okay, it's okay. So then I see a warrant for my arrest come home. So Friday, I want to get off work early. So I tell them I need to go take care of the ticket. So I leave work, go down there, and they say, okay, it's noon. The judge is at lunch. He'll be back about 3:30. I go sit in the restaurant, chill, because I'm in Duncanville in Texas. It's not far from it. Duncanville, DeSoto, Dallas, all in the same place. So, and I go back about 3:30, and they say, well, he won't be back to 6. So I'll make it back about 5:30. I'm waiting. So and they say, oh, Mr. Houston, come on. So I walk to the back, and then this door closed that they made the door big enough and heavy enough so closing would sound like closed. It sound like not closed, like permanently shut. So they walked me in, and when the door closed, it was like, hey, that sounds that sounds like I'm not supposed to be in this room. Then they walked me in this other area and they said, yeah, okay, put your hands out. And they started doing my fingerprints and stuff. I'm like, what is this for? They said, well, the judge won't be in until tomorrow. Then they take my picture and then I said, well, okay, cool. I'm working on the poem anyway. So I go in the jail cell. I'm sitting there. I'm just in a holding cell. And I'm writing. And I wrote about 2-3 poems. And that's about midnight. And I'm like, now they said judge be in before midnight. So I said, hey, the judge come. Said, no, he won't be in the morning. I said, well, I need to make my phone call. I'd have been in jail long enough right now. So I called because I talked to my brother earlier. He said, man, you want me to come get you? I said, no, man, judge being at midnight. I had this shit handled by then. But when the judge didn't come in at midnight, he tell me in the morning, I'm like, oh, hey, wait a minute. Let me make my phone call. We're not doing no come morning thing. That sounds like a three cross on the hill conversation.
Yeah. Shit, come on.
I'm not doing come on. That's 3 crosses on the hill. I'm not doing that. So, and I called and they came and got me. I'm like, man, because I did prison ministries in Huntsville. E-Man was talking about Huntsville. I did a bunch of prison in Huntsville, doing writing workshops and stuff with prisons. But when you go to prisons, they tell you it's okay. You can't wear a white t-shirt. You can't wear jeans because we don't want you to look like you're supposed to be staying here.
Wow.
So those are some things you would double check on your way leaving the place that you are, because you say, I don't know. But so when you drive in and the first gate closed, it sounds like they got somebody paid for the echo of that gate. There's an echo at that gate that sound like "Stay here, nigga."
You stay here. It ain't no sound like that door closing. I'm telling you that.
No, I'm saying no. There's a that's not even in the box in the house. That's just in the gate where the car come in and the gate closed. And the gate closed. It sound like "Stay here, nigga."
You remember that show Get Smart?
Yeah.
And he'd be walking the doors, we go, Joom.
No, but we finally went in there, man, and it was awesome to sit down and talk to people and work with them. But it was the most frightening sound for an individual to walk in these places and know what it sounded like for people that didn't have the opportunity to leave.
Yeah. You never forget that sound. You never forget how it feels for somebody to hand you a lunch through a gate.
Yeah, because I know what they sounds like when it's time for you to go.
You know what you never forget? You never forget that first shower.
No, but we ate the meal at the prison. They say, "We glad y'all here," because they would never feed us food like this if y'all wasn't in here.
Oh wow. But that wasn't the case when they locked my ass up. I spent the night in jail. They gave me that funky ass bologna and cheese sandwich. I had to take that bologna off there and give it to somebody else. I did have coffee. I was happy for that shit.
No, man, but I'm gonna tell you, man, it's so amazing. I know I can say this for you too. It's so amazing. My journey from there to here, whatever there was, or wherever, however far there was from here. My journey to here is amazing because I never thought I'd be in this place, in this position, writing the way I write, speaking to people that I speak to, knowing that I got to do better with these words. Yeah. Knowing that this sound that's coming out of me don't belong to me. This sound has to be on a mission for some other shit and ain't mine.
It ain't mine.
This ain't my mission. This just my duty. This ain't my mission. This is my duty to make sure that this is taken care of. Yeah. So yeah, you can blame me for whatever you think I said, but if I said it, it's gonna come back to you. It was meant for you.
It was meant for you.
I didn't say it for naught. You know, you just don't want to take it right now. Keep it.
Yeah, just fold it like you just get the girl number on the back of the day on a small piece of paper. Just fold it and put it in your wallet. Just leave it there for when you need it.
Keep it like old rubber, like that old circle on the back of your wallet that you ain't gonna never use. Yeah, just keep it for a sec.
Just for proof. I'm not gonna say I didn't like school. I didn't like what they was trying to learn me because they wasn't trying to teach me shit. They was trying to learn me. I didn't like what they was trying to learn me. My thing was with school, how are you gonna tell me that it don't matter what you do in school? We're gonna make sure you pass. We don't want you here next year. They told me that in 8th grade. I wasn't there for the 7th grade. It was just 7th and 8th grade. They told me, now we start school in September. My birthday was on Halloween. Before my birthday, they said we don't want you here next year. We want you out of here. Now, mind you, I had to fight a lot. I was always short all my life. I had to fight a lot. You know, short dudes always got to fight. We got to have a big mouth or a big group, or we're gonna fight all the time. I fought a lot. They told me that, AJ, and then I didn't always go to my classes. But they couldn't fail me anyway because my test scores, I didn't do no classwork. When it was time to read, I read. I read. I ain't doing none of that shit. I ain't doing it. Send me to the dean office. They sent me to the dean office. You in here again? It was so crazy that the dean didn't want me in his office. You know, you get in-school suspension. He said, "No, leave him in the class. I'll just come and check on him." In his office. But it's because, but I'm just thinking, I was built for that shit because I came out of that. But how many had got boxed into that never came out of that? AJ, my test scores, they couldn't do nothing with them. And they didn't think I could read good. They didn't think I could write good until I showed them. Because I didn't want to learn just tell me everything he did with that damn peanut. He ain't just discovered no fucking peanut. He did a lot of shit with that peanut. Tell me everything. They didn't want to tell me that. Harriet Tubman was a two paragraph statement. It wasn't a story. It was a 2-paragraph statement. I gotta wait till I'm grown to realize that she traveled 800 miles one way. And now I gotta write a poem saying that I'm the first leg in that 800 mile. Because I'm freeing some folks. I'm freeing folks that didn't know they was trapped.
That's what Harriet said. No, but what I was laughing about is, okay, we had the same story but opposite. See, my thing is, I read everything. I would get books and I'd be on chapter 13 when they talking about, you know, we're finna have a test on chapter 3. Then we get pop quizzes. I would write my answers to it and write my score of the test on my paper before I turn it in. And I'm one of the first ones to turn it in.
Wow.
And they hated me because they say, well, how you know you made this? And I didn't know. I had a photograph of me. I didn't know it. I'm saying because I could see the answers. I could see the answers that way because I read. I was so far ahead of my classes that I did my homework for my other classes in my other classes.
Right.
I ain't never taken my books on. Played football, basketball, ran track, and you know we was just cool. We were the cool dudes. But I hung out with the people that was failing, making the C's and D's, but I'm making A's, and I got into a bunch of fights because people wanted to copy after me, and I would always tell them, I said, look, man, you stupid, man. You're my friend, but you're stupid, and if I let you copy after me, I'm gonna turn in 2 papers. You're gonna mess around, copy my name on the paper too. You don't know no better.
Now kicked out,
and we'd be fighting, you know. But no, man. But the thing is I was always in the office because they couldn't. I was done with whatever they was trying to teach me. I already read that. Give me some next.
Yeah.
And so they sent me to the principal's office. I'm in the principal's office, and me and the principal, we talking about whatever. He said, "What you doing?" He said, "Houston, why are you in here?" And I was like, "They didn't want me in the class." He said, "No, you're not doing something." He said, "So come on." So I'd be doing all this other stuff, and I'd be working for him. And I learned how to write a signature, so I could write my math teacher's signature and his signature is just like his. So my senior year, I'm vice president of senior class, president of student council, all these other things. So I'm writing passes for everybody because I want us to go off campus and we're gonna go eat. So I'm showing people passes with all these people's names on it that I done signed with Mr. Campbell's signature. And we go off and we come back and everybody say, "Man, how y'all do that?" Don't worry about it. And Mr. Campbell asked me one day, he say, you know, I was the last one getting back. He said, "Where you coming from?" I said, "Oh, we had a meeting. You know, we had a meeting at Wyatt's cafeteria." He said, "Well, how'd you get off campus?" I said, "Well, you wrote me a pass." He said, I ain't wrote nobody no pass." I said, "Yes, you did. Here's the pass with your signature." He was looking at it. He said, "I did write your pass." I was always in trouble. I was always in trouble because I was just that. I was just that kind of person.
Yeah. My thing was, my mom, man, I love my mother, man. My Omi, she made us read. She made us to read. We had to read. That was one thing that she did. We read and we listened to music. She wasn't big on watching TV, but she knew as kids she would let us watch TV. And she needed a break. And she would let us watch TV. But when we were young, man, my mom used to have us reading. And I remember we went to her best friend at the time. She passed away now, but her best friend, went to her home. And at her home, I read to my sister and to her children and my siblings that were, you know, there at that time. And I'm just thinking, I've always been a reader. I've always been a leader. I've always been that. Like, it's just hard for me to follow somebody because it's like, well, I can do the same shit you doing. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, lead me to something that I've never been that. I remember, AJ, going into people's homes and their parents had so much respect for me. And I could remember some of my friends' parents looking at them like, why can't you be more like this young man? And it wasn't that I was an angel because hell, I did my shit, but I didn't do my shit for adults to know. They didn't know. When people found out I was doing the shit I was doing, I said, man, no way. It ain't no way. You couldn't have been doing it. But I didn't want that shit getting back to my mother. That was my thing. Now, if I fight, I fight. But the other shit, I didn't want to get back to my mother. I've always been, you know, that. But I just didn't know that I was teaching then. but I knew that I'll be teaching like this now. So that street shit was preparing me for this. You know what I'm saying? Because it's even with slam poetry, I could have got sucked up into becoming a slam poet and trying to win all the money and going hundreds of miles and just winning $100 and coming back and still ain't got no fucking job in the morning. I could have been that and wanting to get trophies and shit saying I'm a slam poet. I could have been that. I could have got sucked into that. But for me, we were on the Zoom. We was on the Zoom not too long ago. And I'm hitting low now. Wait, AJ, look. We was on the Zoom not too long ago, and I heard somebody say, you know, I can't be on this Zoom long because, you know, I got a real job. You got to go do whatever your job is to the poet. That's a full-time poet. And I said, well, you know, it's the irony in, you know, slam poets who travel the world and slam, and they got to go to work, find a fucking job. And you, my brother, you get to, Moody Black was a good guy. I said, Moody, I'm proud of you because you slammed a lot, but you made a living out of writing poetry. And some of these slam poets that's in this group talking shit, and they had to go find a regular job. I said, so you got a trophy, you got a championship, and you got to go beg somebody for a job. That's sad. But I could have got sucked into that. But I don't need that kind of attention. I know that was dirty. I was dirty.
Now, but you know, let me tell you something. You just started this story. You say, Mary had a little lamb. And I'm like, what the hell? Mary had a little lamb. His fleece was white as snow. And I'm like, how you going? See, because I'm saying, I'll tell you, we started Forward Slams in 2000. And I'm saying, we slammed everywhere, but I was never, I'm saying, we went slams, we won slams, did all this, but I was never that, I never started writing slam poetry for slam poetry. And see, we were poets long before we started slamming. Before we started slamming, we were already poets. We were already writing, already performing, already doing open mics, already doing a whole lot of other things. So we just did slam because there was this Mecca we wanted to go to at the end of the year.
Talk about that. I'm listening because I already know. I know where you're going.
You know, because I don't think you know what it feels like when you have, because when slam when we started going to slam started in 94, 93, one of them. So we didn't start till 2001. Okay. So the first one we went to was Minneapolis, Minnesota. There were 80 teams invited. Not 80 teams were going to perform. 85 teams showed up. There were 5 teams alternate waiting for somebody not to make it. Yeah. And then each team with 5 members, you have 4 team members and an alternate. A lot of teams had 2 coaches, so you got 7 members, at least 7 people per team. Some teams travel with a whole lot of fans.
A whole lot, yeah.
So you got 7 people times 80 is what? 560 people?
It's a lot of damn people. Just a lot of damn people.
Okay, so you got 560 people that are performing or coaching. That's at this place with all these poets. And it's almost like the Olympics, because, you know, Olympics, the guy from Venezuela, you know, the guy from Venezuela is going to run 100. You know, he has the fastest time in Venezuela.
Okay.
You know, but he's in the 100 and he makes it to the finals and he's in lane 12. And it's the fastest time he ever ran in his life when the race is over, but he came in 12th.
He came in 12th.
But that's his personal best. So that's what it's like, understanding that you are going against all the best poets from this city because they slammed all year. Just top 5. So regardless of who you think you would, because there was a lot of teams told us, we're here for the camaraderie and whatever. I'm like, we don't know nothing about camaraderie. That sounds like when, you know, when they were on horses and war, you know, camaraderie, that kind of thing. We came here to win. And teams start, you know, we be hanging out and teams will be there and they say, oh man, where you from? I say, man, I'm AJ from Fort Worth. Oh, Fort Worth, we got y'all in the second bout. We can't talk to y'all. I'm like, what?
The hell is that?
Yeah, what the hell is, you can't, we got about 2 days from now.
Yeah, we can't.
And you can't talk to me till the third day. Is that some risen shit you talking?
Wow.
But Slam became that serious for a whole lot of people.
It did.
But it was never that serious for us because we were there. We were gonna make the semifinals anyway. We knew we was gonna make the semifinals. Or we was gonna make the team piece finals. We were gonna make one of them, and we did every year. But our goal was to come and see how can we better perform, because what Slam taught me was that you have 3 minutes to write something without a hook, without a repeated line, without all the pause words, that you can connect to people you've never met. And you need to make sure that their eyes will never leave you and their eyes will follow you from side to side wherever you're walking on stage. You need to make sure that these people gonna want to talk to you when this shit is over. They're gonna find you 2 days later if they ain't seen you, say, hey man, what was that last line in that poem? And you don't know what about they're talking about.
Right. You don't.
but that's what poetry is supposed to be, this message. See, the last line of Drug of Choice, it says, the messenger can instantly combust if he ain't spitting the truth. That's what fire is.
Yeah.
Fire is either you're going to spit fire, you're going to burn the fuck up.
Burn the fuck out. That's it. AJ, did I tell you my slam, how I got into slam?
Yeah, you did, but that's dope though, man. Tell them so they know.
So my brother Witz and I, we opened up Say Word Tuesday. And it must have been it wasn't no time before a lot of the slam poets in the Charlotte area started coming in, and I had one of the I guess the top Charlotte poet that everybody know was hosting for me at the time, and the slam poets used to come in, and I didn't know what slam poetry was. I didn't have a clue. I didn't know what the hell that was. They told my slam poetry. I was a slam team. What the hell is that? Y'all doing that crunk dancing shit? What the hell? I didn't know what they was doing. And then I got introduced to slam. And then I found out that people were scoring and grading. And I said to myself, I'll be damned. I don't want to be that. As a matter of fact, I went to when Nationals was here. I went down there for that. And I judged for one time. And what messed me up was it was a very funny poem that went down. I think I gave him an 8.5 or 8 something. And then there was a woman that came on, did a poem about being molested very young. And she cried and everything. And then another funny poem came up. And then I said, well, I really like that funny poem, but how am I give him a 10? I gave her a 9.7. I said, I can't fuck with this slam shit. It don't make sense. I'm done. So Blackberry came. Blackberry, she's running Respect to My Slam at the time. She came in. She called me up one. She came to the spot. She checked it out. She saw the open mic and all that. And she called me up. She said, I want you to take over my baby. This is long story short, Respect to My Slam. And I said, me? Like, what I'm saying? I ain't never slammed a day in my life. I ain't never wrote a slam poem. I ain't know it was time limits. I ain't know none of that shit. So I said, I don't even know enough about slam. She said, good. Meet me at Starbucks this day, this time. We're going to have a conversation. To make a long story short, we took the first slam team ever that I was a part of to Southern Fried, 2016. It was Jamal Cowan, Lady V Poetry, it was Lovely, and it was Chantel. Snippets was her name. And what I got from Southern Fried made me realize there was some shit about slam poetry that I really liked. Because I'm a storyteller, and I Blackberry. When we were leaving,
you didn't hear your really,
huh?
You didn't hear your really.
I didn't hear my really. I was like, really? She said, we leaving. I was like, damn, it's over. Like we've been here since Tuesday, but it's Sunday. This shit is over for real. Like we got to go home now. But I learned a lot of shit in that small span of time. And then I had to say to myself, okay, well, I need to at least try to slam to see what it feel like to be on the stage on that side of it instead of just being the coach. And our first couple of years we struggled because I'm new. I don't know. And I got poets crying and telling me this and that. And I'm like, don't worry, we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. I had a program. We're doing this, that's it. I ain't know no better. But listening to other slam poets, I hope y'all listening here, taught me a slam poem can be your meal ticket if you know how to say it right. Mm-hmm. If you take your time with it, that could be your meal ticket. So I understand why poets travel, and I don't understand how that's the only fucking thing they do. I ain't never gonna get that, but that neither here nor there. It changed my whole idea on what writing. I keep jabbing at. It changed my whole concept on slam poetry. And to be honest with you, I still haven't. I don't think I slammed 10 times. I have not slammed 10 times. I've been to more slams. I had teams there, and I brought groups down to slam, but I don't think I slammed 10 times. I'm not interested in the win like that. If my team win, we win. That's it. We make it to we make it there. We everything paid for. We had fun. We slam. We didn't make final shades. It's okay. I ain't mad at it. I want to win. Don't get me wrong, but I wasn't ready. I'll bring my team now. We'll set some fire on their ass now because I done studied. I done got some shit in me now.
Man, let me tell you what I like. What I like about slam poetry is the reason I slammed is because I want to watch the guy in the back that don't know what slam is react to this line I got for his ass.
That he don't know is coming.
Yeah, I want to see. I want to see how you treat this line when it reaches you. When the rope attaches your ankle and drags you up here on stage with me, you don't know you standing. You didn't know this was a dance and shit, but we finna dance. I want to know how you feel when the person beside you want to slap you like you just ate something good because you just heard something they didn't want to listen to.
And I'm talking about the line that I got before you was born. It was already embedded when the spark went off. When that sperm shot out, that line was put right on me, right then and there. That line.
But to me, that was always my excitement was that I hear what you're saying, but you ain't heard no shit like this. And I know I'm finna get an 8.5 because people ain't gonna know how to treat this. They said we don't know what to do with that. Just like you said, it's like okay, this guy just did a funny poem about how he was a nerd in school. They just did a team piece about bowling. And he got up and said, I don't know how to treat this. And see, that's what a lot of people don't understand. There's nothing better than someone waiting for you to get off the stage after you deliver a poem. I agree, because it's some people like, wait a minute, man. Did you say what you said? And what's up, Kay Michelle? No, but it's always amazing to me how somebody can take an emotion and paint it perfect. And dance with it. It's like they performing a poem, but all you see is this person dancing with this emotion like it's a real person. And it's like, I see you.
I see you.
And nobody knows what the listener sees when the poet performs his piece correctly.
Listen, when he don't miss a beat.
Yeah.
AJ, I did a poem dedicated to Black women. And it was like I was on stage. It was only, the auditorium was packed, right? It was only 5 Black people in this auditorium, and I was 3 of them. Okay, that's how many non-Black faces was in there. It was 5 Black people in the whole building. I was 3 of the 5, and I did this poem about Black women. And there was this elderly woman, waiting for me at the stage, bro, white lady. And it wasn't so much that she was waiting, because I didn't think she was waiting for me. I thought she was waiting for somebody to help escort her out. But the fact that she was waiting to tell me how that poem touched her. And I'm in the country, North Carolina. I'm in little. But when somebody
like Buford or something like.
and I'm saying, like, you waiting for me? So I'm looking around where the police at. You got some Klan men coming in here with the guns. And she said, I wanted to shake your hand because I know that story. And I'm saying, wow, to know that, because she's saying some shit, She seen some shit. Yeah, she seen with a T, synced some shit.
Yeah.
And but those are
SCANT. Yeah.
There was another, There was another time there was this young brother who was waiting for me at the end of the stage, let me go up the stage and said he was young too. Bad situation he was living in. And he said, man, I didn't even know what I was coming into today. I just needed to get out of that house because I can't stand to be in that house. Him and his girl had bought a house together and they're separated, but they can't afford to move. And so she's sleeping in one room, he's sleeping in the other room, and he's watching her get dressed to go out with other men and I come home sometimes and all that kind of shit. And he's still in love, but she's not at this point. And he said, I don't know how to make it through my day. He said, man, are you on social media? Can I follow you? Can I reach out to you, man? And man, those are the moments, right? Because I don't write poems about domestic violence, and I don't. But when you have a microphone, you are in control, man. You dictate what the hell is going to happen right now. Those are the moments that I live for. Slam poetry taught me that. Slam poetry taught me that. Yeah. But AJ, what I said, he going back.
No, it was the facetious undertones of the things you were thinking about saying.
It's that poet there that gets you every time.
It was the facetious undertones of the things you was thinking about saying. But no, man, I think how I learned to write is how I learned to listen. And I don't think you can become a better writer until you become a better listener.
Absolutely.
Because there are some things you have to hear. Maybe it's not just from other people or other sounds. Maybe it's you need to hear the things around you, the way the wind doesn't say anything, but needs you to know it's there.
Yeah.
There's some things that you need to pay attention to that you might not be able to see. You might not be able to tell somebody how you're paying attention to that shit until you write it down. So when you finally discover that there are emotions in a line that's talking about laughing, when you understand there's pain in a line that's talking about loving, when you understand that sometimes you writing about divorce might tell other people how much you're still in love.
Mm-hmm.
And see, this is what poems and poets do. They will tell your story when you ain't said shit. They will tell your story when you didn't even know they was looking at you and they just met you 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Let me tell you, when Wits did his George Stinney poem for the first time, when he was writing it, I said, bro, I don't even think you know what's there. And he was fighting to keep the emotion out of it. He was fighting it. He was fighting. He's got another poem he wrote for my mom that I have recorded to music that he doesn't like people to hear because he was crying, but it's one of the best poems he's written. And then the emotion behind it and what it's the purpose it served. But when he wrote, I said, you don't even understand the weight of that poem yet, bro. And I said, don't be scared of it. You already got the shit out. But tell me what
don't let people tell you emotion ain't got no sound.
Well, listen, when we got
emotion ain't got no sound.
We got the Southern Fried, and he said, no, I'm not doing it. Now I'm his coach. He gonna tell me what he doing and shit. I'm not doing this poem until Friday. I said, but damn, okay, well, I know not to call for that poem then, right? And he said, well, I want to deliver this poem on Friday because Friday we had Slamageddon, we had Burn Beautiful, and I want to say we had what's the Sons? I don't know if we had the Sons team. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I can't remember their team. But the Son of Hanu and Wendy Jones got team.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Why can't I think of this team? Bull City.
Yeah.
I think they was in that bout too. So that's, first of all, everybody come to see Slamageddon. You know that. Everybody comes to see Slamageddon. So he said, no, I want to do this poem that night. And I said, well, you know, man, shit, fuck it. I don't give a damn. I mean, I want to win, but shit, if we lose, I ain't gonna be fucking mad anyway. So damn it, let's do it. Now, mind you, Thursday night, we had already knew we was out. We already knew we wasn't gonna make it. So it wasn't no biggie anyway. I said, well, it don't make sense to pull the big ones out. Y'all saving them for the big bout. So which was the third person in that bout? And so, you know, everybody went twice, third bout. He was the second one in the third round, I think. I think that's what it was. But I don't remember. But he did that poem. And it was people that Southern Fried who never even bothered to whisper in his direction that were just stone faced. Like, holy shit, he's doing that. And when the poem was done, he was so you know how they get so emotional. And I just grabbed him. I said, no, just chill right here. Just breathe. And I'm holding him. We stand in front of the damn spot and we hug him. And he got the first, not only the first 30, now he got the first 50, all 10s, all across. And it was in that moment that Wit said, okay, let me revisit how to tap into those emotions. The which y'all know now is because he studied himself. And man, I don't have to tell y'all could just look at his shit, but the weight in his poems, I tell him, I said, bro, I'm scared of you, man.
but you know, that's dope. You say the weight of his poems. I always say, what is the weight of your pen?
The pen. Come on, AJ. That's what I'm talking about.
Because to me, I'm saying even the drug of choice, you know, I just love the idea of paper, of being honored by trees because of the ending process that makes paper.
Yeah.
You know, tell people, I say, trees called me before they sacrificed themselves to make sure they knew my address.
Yeah.
They wanted me to write some shit. They wanted me to, they say, look, I'm not gonna kill myself for nobody but you.
Right. That's what I'm saying about the color poem. Because you have all your colors in black. White is opposite of all colors. Ain't no colors in that. Mm-hmm. So why would I choose a favorite color that don't have everything in it? Why would I cheat myself? That's why that poem, my favorite color, is about that. It's about black. Because before there's light, it's darkness. And you need light.
You know, I was on this line. I was talking about impromptu, the writing prompts, right? So I wrote this poem from impromptu about moonlit walks on the ocean floor. And there's a part of it that says, you know, like, what if my ancestors' ancestors knew these were beaches before darkness split? These are the beaches they walked on under the moon before darkness split. So when there's a voice that said, let there be light, the light split only to show that we were already here. We were the darkness.
We were.
But now, all those people that jumped, they didn't jump from the boats or walk in the boats to kill themselves. They knew those were beaches that our ancestors walked on under the moonlight before this darkness split, before the water came, before the weight of water crushed these bones and ain't no sand on the ocean floor. Those are bones.
Yeah. Between and that makes me think about my I Am poem that you forced me to write. That's your doing. See, everybody who read that prompt, I Am, AJ forced me to write that poem. Wait. He read his poem to me and I had to hear it again. And before he finished, I started writing. It's his damn fault.
But that is so wrong for you to start the sentence like that.
but this is the truth. Am I lying though?
No, I'm saying because when you called me and told me, so yo man, go to impromptu. Mr. Witz wrote this poem to waking up in the casket or whatever. And I go there and the first poem I see is yours. I'm saying you told me Witz wrote a poem. You didn't say that Emmanuel Cole and you and Witz wrote these poems that's on here. And I'm like, how am I gonna not write a poem on this page? Now I gotta write something, but I can't just write anything. And see, the challenge when hanging around y'all is that the challenge is not to write. The challenge is to see what's written. See, there's a difference in writing a poem and seeing the pictures that you placed on a piece of paper.
Yeah.
See, I want you to see these images like I got a multicolored brush stuck into a black fine point pen.
Yeah. I don't believe that. When writing, I just feel like there are words that come to you that you must dream about, or you had them in a former life.
That's dope.
Because I'm saying, how do you say, I in the poem I said, I wipe my feet with moon dust. Hell, I didn't believe America made it to the moon the first time. They lied about it the first time with the flag blowing with the wind. So they don't know nothing about moon dust. But I'm just saying, like, I can't just think of that shit. Who thinks of that?
No, but let me tell you, man, you so evil. You're so evil. The first time he put that flag and that flag waving in the wind on the moon, and maybe didn't nobody else catch that. Maybe y'all didn't hear what he just said or what I just heard. But he said, yeah, the flag on the moon waving in the wind like it's somewhere in Arizona. That's what I heard.
Listen, if there's no oxygen on the moon, there's no air. Okay. Now, granted, okay, they ain't got no light. I don't know what. I guess they spacecraft had the light. I'll give them that. The spacecraft with the aluminum foil with the light on. I give them that. Where in the hell did they find some air? That's what I want to know. Out of space. Where did you find some air out of space? That's what I want to know. Teach me how to do that. Did they capture that shit and bring it back? Or they captured it here and took it with them? So we're going to blow this shit when we put this flag up because we want our flag.
Man, that's just wrong, man. It's just
and then if we're looking at, let's look at the movie Armageddon, right? Certain times you puncture the ground, don't gas come up? So they punctured it with a thing and no gas came up. They knew exactly where to puncture it. In a place they ain't never been before. They knew it wasn't no gas in that section over there. Ain't no gas over there. Oh, America. It's not America. It's the people running America. Let me say that. I'm going to start being politically correct. It's not America. America ain't did shit. It's the hellions that's running it. I said.
No, but see, to me, the problem is it's like you create what is that the Big Ten?
Oh, sorry.
Is that Villanova? I'm gonna tell you in turn. I think Villanova it was Villanova that had a system the way the team played basketball, Villanova College basketball. See, there's teams you don't hear nothing about in football. But there's teams that's running shit in basketball. But they had a system like the Lakers, like they had the different system that the coaches created that somebody tried to perpetuate and keep moving that kept them winning records. So this is what America is. America is this system that they just told you this year when Trump told them, like, if we don't do something about all these minority folks voting, we ain't gonna never win again. But they know that, but we don't seem to know that. We don't seem to know that if we all vote, they can't win, and we sitting there arguing because they're winning, but we ain't voting. I'm like, it's some steps missing. Okay, so you bought the cake. You bought the cake and it's chocolate. Okay, so now you got a pan with chocolate icing on it, but ain't no cake in it.
Ain't no cake in it.
You got to open the box. You got to do something before you can eat cake.
Something's got to be done.
and you got to do some shit before you can win an election. Somebody got to register. Somebody got to run.
Yeah. I'm invisible footprints. That's all I know. I'm invisible footprints.
Man, but I'm gonna tell you, y'all, man, I am always honored because I ain't messing with you and Miss Betty. You and Miss Betty, I ain't messing with y'all. Y'all just, but no, but I'm gonna tell you, man, it's such an honor, man, to know that whatever piece you write, I heard the hammer and nails when you built that shit.
Mm. You know what? I don't think.
No, check it out. I saw you standing on a ladder when you put the antenna on top of that motherfucker, so it could have reception.
I'm gonna tell you. I think Armstrong said he never went to the moon. Exactly. I can't see your name. He's so blessed. Armstrong said he never went to the moon. Exactly. He went to some moonshine. He must think I was drinking some moonshine. If you think I'm gonna believe that shit. But it's just like it's like I was telling you earlier. That's how I feel about your work. It's like when you write a poem, it's like you went to the beach or you've been to the point of no return. If you are black in here, you don't know the gates of no return or the point of no return. If you don't know what that is, I want you to go find it. But AJ, it's kind of like you take and you go there in your mind and you put your hands in the sands and you do this here. And then you say, okay, I need to get in there so that I can figure out how am I going to tell you what our ancestors saw without a way that you don't understand. I need you to understand it. So you write in a depth that the average mind has to look at its own and say, what the fuck you been doing? Which is why I'm so harsh on erotic poets. It's not that I don't like erotic poetry, but it ain't but so many times you can say the profound words, the profanity, the vulgarities. It ain't but so many times you can say it. After the second poem, I'm like, I can go home now. I know what that is, and I know what that is.
But wait, let me tell you what you snuck into this conversation. See, because you ain't gonna keep doing this, and people don't know. People think it's just you just talking. See. You don't even have subliminal messages no more. It's just blatant. It's just a blatant attack on folks' senses. Because this is the fourth time you done brought up the gate of no return. And I ain't got no poem on that shit. This the fourth time you brought it up. As though you just saying, look, the gate of no return. Let me tell you the gate of no return. Let me tell you the gate of no return. It's like there's an echo prevailing now in your sentences about the gate of no return, because when you said at that time I could see it. Yeah. Because if no one's ever seen it, it's like it's made of mud, of wall, or whatever they make buildings out of. Mm-hmm. There's an opening just large enough for a body, for one body, because no two bodies can stand in this entrance or this exit at any one time. And it's just letting you know that once you leave here, that's it. And that's, I'm still, Faye sent me a story, right? Faye sent me a story about this place, Popo. It's called Popo, or the person was called Popo. I remember reading it, but I'm trying to find it. That's why I hadn't talked about it. But there's this black chief of this tribe that had made this agreement with this white man that was getting paid all this money. So what he would do, he would lure other Africans to his building. He had built this underground place to where he would lure these people there and for good times and put them in the bottom and waiting for the ships to come. So the night before the ships would come, he had a big well outside. He would send the people outside, strip them naked so they could bathe in the water and walk on the sand around the well, because this would be the last time you feel these waters from this place. This would be the last time your feet can greet this African dirt. This would be the last time. And it was just such a horrific story, but such a picture that would just piss you off. I know, that's what I'm saying, Betty. This is the fourth time he said it. I've been counting, Betty. I've been counting. No, but I'm saying, but he would send them out so they could bathe in the water and walk on the sands like this would be the last time. And this made me think of the Gate of No Return too, because it was like, this is the last time you're gonna be on this dirt. And it's impossible. What's up, Kamal? It's impossible to know what a person captured can think, because a conversation started about prisons in Huntsville and how doors sound when they close and say you ain't leaving. But I don't know what it sounds like when you're captured and when they chain you up and when they put you together and they taking you on a boat and you putting you in the underbelly in the darkness and you don't know where you're going. You don't know if you're gonna see light again. You just saw the people you love jump from the plank y'all walking on because they say, I'm not leaving here. And I'm saying these are real stories. These are real things. These are real emotions that somebody got to have. Somebody got to tell you what it feels like, even if they don't know what it feels like. Somebody got to let you know that there's some shit you need to feel that you ain't never felt. There's some things you need to be aware of that you don't even want to think about, but you better, because it happened. You better know it because you don't want it to happen again.
AJ, you know another story that makes me so emotional, bro. When you hear how the sharks followed the boats, and sharks don't like human flesh like that, but they will follow the boats, and then they were pregnant women and women who had babies that seized the opportunity to just fall over the ship. It ain't no way they can swim back to to any land, so they know their life is over. And to think that had my great grandmother or grandfather or both of them, great had not done that, I wouldn't be here right now. If they'd done that,
yeah.
If they hadn't decided, you know what, I'm gonna fight through this. I'm gonna see through this.
But when you talk about the sharks and the people, and you got to talk about the hurricanes.
What's about the hurricanes?
Because the hurricanes began in the same spot, the same place where the ship started.
Every year.
So tell me if it's not karma, if it's not retroactive retribution. And those two words don't usually go together.
They don't.
It's not retroactive retribution that these hurricanes start and they come to the same place, the same areas, like down in New Orleans, down there where they used to let the slaves off, down in Texas where they used to have, the last plantation in the United States was in Texas, in Prairie A&M, not in Florida where Fort Negro was, for all these other places on the East Coast, on the Carolinas, on the rock they call Plymouth or whatever they want to call it. These are where hurricanes know where they're going. They know where they belong. They know who they're looking for. Hurricanes looking for somebody.
Yeah.
They think time is the same time because shit ain't changed. They looking for somebody. And I'm out to write that piece now. That piece is gonna be in that Gate of No Return. And I hate that you keep bringing this shit up, making me have to write some shit I hadn't planned on, making me have to change my damn mind and shit. But that's gonna be in the Gate of No Return too.
Yeah.
Hurricanes ain't got no watches. They don't know what time it is. They looking for somebody.
And why do they come that time of year?
No, they looking for somebody.
Yeah. They looking like hell too.
They looking for somebody, man.
Why do hurricanes come that time of year? Ain't that something?
Y'all don't know how these poems feel when they come out. It's almost like, because I had this poem I read the other. It says, I bled a poem the other day. It felt good to be rid of it.
Whew. I'm taking that for a title. I'm letting you know now. Look, I'm grabbing my pen right now. See that green? I told you I bought a whole bunch of pads. I keep them ready for you. Green pad, green pen. I'm ready.
No, man, but it's amazing. Okay, I tell you, I done wrote it down on a couple of things that as soon as I finish this, this drug of choice.
Yeah, let me write down. I need drug of choice. I got to write too. Oh, AJ, hold on. I got to tell you something else. So, my glasses will be here in 7 days. So y'all's asses better really get ready because I'll be able to see some shit now. I'll be able to see these words now.
No, Faye got glasses on order too. So when you sent me that message, I was laughing hard. I almost fell off the bed. And I told her, she said, "Yeah, I just found some frames for mine too." Like you said, I'm gonna be able to see in a minute. I'm gonna be able to see something in a minute.
I'll be able to see in a minute. I gotta hang this up in my office.
The gate of Port Drive. That's cold.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna be able to see in a minute. When I can see, damn it.
Man, but I'm gonna tell you, John, man, it's so amazing. And see, I've never felt this way about listen. Yeah, definitely, Betty. It's where hurricanes start too. And you know, I'm saying I never felt this way about poetry. I have a lot of friends like my buddy called me when I was sitting here, Anthony Douglas. That's one of the poets that we've been started forward slams with.
Okay.
You know, Anthony Douglas, Janine, Mike Gwynn, Stacy, Adaya. We started forward slams, but we were poets, and we had our own styles. Because when I went to start going to Dallas Slams, I started hearing other poets pick up little idiosyncrasies from other poets. And I know that's how it works when you're finding yourself. And that's cool because a lot of times singers always sung other people's songs until they discovered how their voice really worked, and then they began to sing their own. Right. And that's what we as poets, that's what we as artists do. Artists paint other people's pictures to see if I can make these strokes look like your strokes until you find your own strokes. So that's commonplace. But what happens when you find your own voice, it will scare the shit out of you. Because it's like, I ain't never heard nobody say nothing like this.
And then the words don't fit the same no more, AJ.
It's like, these sounds ain't supposed to be sounds.
Not coming out of me.
Say, these words ain't supposed to be married. They didn't never get engaged. These words ain't supposed to be married.
I said in this poem, let me find this damn poem real quick. I said, I'm invisible footprints. Fingers searching for direction. The whistle that found a home in a broken window. I am unremembered.
No, but the fingers is dope because it's like I can't even point nowhere.
Not without that shit hurting.
No, I can't point nowhere because I don't even know what direction to go. You know, there used to be a Burger King commercial that they had this podium. It was just a podium and white everything. They had a Burger King burger, you know, on this podium. And then they say, "You're free, you're free." You know, buy one, get one free. And when they did, it almost made me cry the first time because all I could hear was them telling the slaves in Texas that they were free.
Now, when I let these words out my mouth, I want you to understand how connected we are. I was just saying that's Juneteenth. That's them saying you free, and they sitting here like, and
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And that's right. I could just see them saying I'm free, and like you say, I couldn't point my finger because ain't no direction.
Because none of those directions tell me home.
Because we've only been here. We've only been here.
So how am I get me some home? I don't even know what that smell like.
We've only been here.
Can you imagine?
Now this ain't home.
You never even dreamed of home. Ain't that some shit? You so disconnected from who you are, you ain't even have a dream about home. You might have thought about what home might be. But you better not think too loud. You better not dream too hard because Master gonna bust you upside your head if you do. So you scared.
Man, it's so amazing to to grab hold of something that you can't touch. And then I think that's what poets do. We will grab an idea or grab a dream. That's why in this poem I tried to make dream a tangible thing. It's like yeah, my drug of trust is dreams. How the texture, how they feel, how they feel when you pray enough and make them walk. How dreams feel, because I think until we realize everything we write is a living being. Everything we write should have breath, should have knees, should have feet. Everything we write got to go somewhere away from us.
Yeah. If not, put the shit back.
And let somebody else write it.
Yeah, that ain't for you.
Yeah, but I'm saying everything we write got to go somewhere away from us.
Because if not, why are you writing?
Nah, it ain't yours no more.
Every time it leave your lips, it belongs to somebody else. The moment it touch your paper, it belongs to somebody else. Yeah, Miss Betty, never even dreamed of home. Think about it like this. Let's just look at Roots. I love I can watch Roots all day long as a reminder. But let's think about this. They say, oh, that's the Guinea man. Oh, this is home now. You might as well forget about that. Praying to them old African God. They can't help you. Oh my God. Can you imagine the mindset? Did somebody tell you that your prayers ain't making it past the big house? As a matter of fact, your prayers better not reach the big house. They better get a cutoff switch before they reach the big house. I got a poem that says, trees are so big that the shading cover the big house but never stretch past the plantation. The shade would never reach past the plantation. It was so big old tree, but the shade never made it to. Did they plant it there purposely to make sure it didn't touch the slave quarters?
Man, I got a picture I took in front of Whitley Plantation in Louisiana, and they got these giant trees in the front yard, and all of them look like hanging trees. And then when I was leaving the plantation, there was two little branches, probably one about 6-8 inches long, and one with another little part on it that was about 5 or 7 inches long. And they was in this chair. And me and my baby was leaving the plantation, and I stopped, and I'm looking in this chair at these branches, and she stopped with me for a second. She said, "Come on, we're leaving, right?" I said, like the church finger thing, and I'm looking at them branches, and she say, "What?" And I say, "These branches came out here for me." Mm. I say, they suicided themselves from the tree they was in because they could no longer hold the story. They're the only ones know where the bodies are planted, and they came here to let me know I need to say something about them.
I got some shit to say about that. Wow. Mm.
And I was looking at him, and she just looked at me. She said, "I don't know how your mind works, but I'm tired of this. Let's go eat." But I'm saying, but that's what I saw for real. I'm saying the two branches there, it was like they moved to let me know, like, look, this is a real plantation. The wall you just saw with all those names, all those people are dead, and a lot of them were killed. A lot of them were beat, whipped, raped. All this happened. Those hot boxes out there is real. There was people really in them. Mm. Let me tell you this story.
Let me tell you this story.
That don't nobody here know.
I'm gonna be up all damn night. I told you I got my shit. I told you I got my pen and pads ready for you. I told you that.
What's up, Minister? No, but I was looking, man, and it was and it was just amazing because I didn't have to think about the thought. That was the only thought I had when I saw him. Tell me how that worked. That's the only thought I had when I saw him, is like, when you killed yourself, how you get here?
Before the pandemic, I was doing poetry with the elders. They had a book club at the public library. So I used to go and do poetry with them. I was supposed to be for half an hour. I'm usually there for an hour and a half. I'm not leaving them. We're gonna have a good time conversation. What I love about elders because they listen and they call you on your shit. You said that. Let me explain to you what that is. They had a group trip to Ladder Plantation right here in Charlotte. Ladder Plantation. And we went to this house and I saw the old pots. I saw the old irons and the houses that the slave quarter house was cut off. I don't think we couldn't go over there with that. I don't know if it was the construction, but they wanted to leave it in its original state. But AJ, what I'm saying is, I saw where the slaves were laboring because they wasn't working. They wasn't getting paid for it. They were laboring. They showed the quarters. They showed where they were making belts and steel rings and shit to go around the horses. I don't know what you call them. And all of the gadgets that they had to use to labor for these folks. And I couldn't breathe. I was like, it's different when you see the shit in the book than when you walk on there and their spirits is swinging in the swaying grass when the wind is blowing. And that sun come up and it hits you to remind you how hot it might have been back then, because we don't know heat like they knew heat.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm looking at these pots that they had to cook in, and that the oven with the brick oven was still the same shit. It probably, you know what I'm saying? And then the big one that they had to clean the clothes in, and there were aprons in there. There was bread baskets and baskets that they had woven, you know, and I was supposed to be taking pictures. I was supposed to be taking pictures for me because I was like, I'm gonna write about this shit. I haven't been back. It's right here. I drive past it, but my heart just I want to go fuck somebody up.
Ain't ready, yeah.
Yeah, I can't go back in there. I want to go kick somebody's ass. And the women, you know, they're telling us what they know about and the history and stuff is written down. And I'm saying, God damn it, but do you understand these was human beings that they were doing this shit to, man?
John, until I did this poem Dressing for Church, right? I thought the first Black church was the one in Louisiana because it was built by slaves on this plantation. On Whitney Plantation, the church there was built by slaves, and you go into church and they got all these figurines, and these figurines are child size, about 9-year-old size and 12-year-old size, and they're around the choir, where the choir was, and around the pulpit, and standing in the corners and all these places. But all of them, mouths are open and the eye holes don't have eyes in it. And I was looking, I'm like, and I told Faye, I say, they've seen so much pain that they tore their eyes out.
Wow.
And I'm saying it's so real when I don't know why I feel like I feel or why I write like I write. I just know that somebody gave me this job.
I didn't ask for it.
Yeah, somebody gave me this job, and I tried to do a whole bunch of other shit than be a poet. I tried to do a whole lot of other things other than poeting, you know. But every time I looked around, there was a pen and some paper and some shit was going on I didn't have no control over. And then people started asking me to come and write something for this funeral, or write something for this graduation, and write something for this. And first time I wrote something for a funeral, and then when my father passed away, I was sitting there and everybody was talking, and a house full of people, and I really couldn't see people. And I wrote this poem about my father being this oak tree. And so when I read the poem at the funeral, and when I looked up, nobody was looking up. Everybody was crying.
Wow.
And I didn't expect to know what that felt like.
Yeah.
Because I think my father gave me the poem when he left on his way out.
Wow.
Because and you know, it was that day that I understood that sometimes your duty ain't your duty, it's just your job.
It's just your job, bro.
and maybe you get duty and job mixed up, but I'm trying to make sure you succinctly understand that they're different. Your duty ain't your duty. It's not like you got a 9 to 5. It's not like America gonna pay you. It's like God done told you to do something, and this time you better get it done. And next time, if you do it right, he just gonna tell you to do it again.
Yeah.
And do it better.
AJ, so man, I don't even know how to even put this in words, but so I was gunned down at 19. I've lost nearly 80% of my vision in my right eye. A lot of people don't know that. Nearly 80% of my vision in my right eye has been gone since the age of 19. And I found out today it's gotten a little worse, but anyway. And I kept going. Then in I want to say, I guess it was in my 30s now. It was in my 30s. I was disabled out of work. Now I can't work. And I used to sit here and say, well, why the fuck is this happening to me? Right? And I'm listening to you now, and I'm like, well, if I was doing what the fuck I was supposed to be doing, maybe I wouldn't have to be this way to do what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing. Maybe I wouldn't have to walk through this.
I don't think people get that line of logic. Of logic.
Man, I'm hearing it now. Right? But I would maybe if I'd have sat down, because I didn't sit my ass down. I was moving all the time. I remember my ex when I was young. This before I got shot. I was young. This was about 15, 16. My ex, her uncle, he used to be like, man, you just so busy. He said, you don't even see your potential because you're so busy running. He said, I can turn you on to some things, but you're too busy in these streets. Get out of these streets. And then I replayed all this shit. And I'm saying a lot of people used to tell me, you need to sit down. You need to sit down. And I never sat. And then I got shot up. I sat down for a minute and I got my ass up and started running again. Then here I am, disabled. I had to sit my ass down for real this time. But when I sat down, I was in a space where I was not wanted to be at. I was basically verbally abused, right? I was dealing with some things. I was trying to make sure that I kept my promise. If you didn't abort my baby, I wouldn't leave. And so I was living with a lot of shit on me that I didn't understand. But I dove into what the only thing that I knew. Nothing else mattered. I just wanted to do this all day. I didn't eat. I had my coffee and my donut. It was an apple turnover. I used to drink coffee, apple donut, and here I am. And I'm saying, why the fuck I had to be disabled out of work to do what I'm supposed to? But when you don't listen to what you're supposed to do.
No. Let me tell you a secret. You could have done back then what you were supposed or thought you were supposed to do. Everything would have happened just like it happened. The reason it would have happened because you can get to this now from anywhere else but that then. This now is only present because that then was that then.
Was that then? Yeah.
These ain't sentences that other people gonna get. These ain't sentences that's constructed using the dialect that I was taught in school in the English language. I'm saying you can't get to this now if you didn't go through that then. So here we are, understanding that this now. I'm saying I tried everything not to be a poet. I've been writing all my life, just like you say your mother made you read. My mother read to me from I was the middle child, so my brother and sister was at school. I'm home, and even when they was in kindergarten. My mother read to me all these Dr. Seuss books.
Mm-hmm.
I memorized every book. She thought I could read. But I memorized the books, not like memorizing a book. I memorized the words that was on the specific page. So I could flip the pages and recite the words on the page, although I couldn't read what was on the page.
Right.
So she saw me holding the book upside down, reciting what was on the page. And then I think she kind of got mad because she thought she was doing a good job. So she started making me read every day, write every day, and do math every day. So for me, reading was something that people at 4 years old, my dad would take me to the Domino Shack over in West Dallas, sit me on 2 telephone books. I was his domino partner because I could count.
Mm-hmm.
I was a domino player at 4 years old. We win some money. My dad would give me about $5 or $10. You know, a 4-year-old with $10 in his pocket. You know what you could buy at the store. So I don't know what we won. I just know I like to go because we was gonna win. I was gonna get some money. But what the point I'm getting to is when I went to school, in the first grade, I was sitting. All I remember is sitting in front of the class all the time on a stool in all the classes, reading to the classes from the 1st to the 6th grade because I thought that's what school was. Wow. Nobody tells a 1st grader what you do in the 1st grade because if that's what you do in the 1st grade, evidently that's what 1st graders do. So the next 3 years, I was down in the auditorium doing the decorations for the plays, and I had the starring role in all the plays because I memorized everything, and I was all this. But I wasn't in my classes. I didn't remember going to my classes because I didn't know I didn't need to go to the classes because they couldn't teach me anything beyond the realm of what my mother had taught me.
Yeah, that.
But nobody would tell me anything. I'm just in these plays. I'm the rabbit in Alice in Wonderland. I'm the doctor doing apostrophes and shit on people, turning that shit backwards and messing stuff up. But it was cool to me. But I didn't know until now, until you look back. So that's why I was telling this story because that then is what got you to this right now. Any other route you would have taken would have still got you to this right now, but you wouldn't have the skills and the gifts you have because of the trials and the struggles you've been through to get here. See, I mean, can't nobody hold a pen like a man that knows this pen matters. Like this pen is an extension. This pen is a bone to me. You know, this pen is a left foot, nigga. This pen is a left foot. Don't be messing with my feet.
Yeah. Wow, Miss Betty said they're trying to ban Dr. Seuss books.
No, Dr. Seuss, his organization is taking those 6 books out.
Are they?
It's kind of like after 50 years, they say they're gonna take Aunt Your Mama off the box. You know, they're gonna change the box. You know, they ain't said shit about Uncle Ben. You know, I'm figuring out Uncle Ben gonna, you know, sit on his box for a little bit longer. But they're taking Aunt Your Mama off the box because they say it ain't right. They wanted to take, you know, nigga Jim out the book. You know, I'm saying, you know, nigga Jim all over the book, but they want to take him out the book now. But people have been reading about nigga Jim for the last 50, 60 years. But you know, we all know who nigga Jim is.
We all know who it is. Yeah. Damn, they are retiring though. They are retiring. I looked it up right now. That's a damn shame.
Now 6 books, yeah. And that's this poem. Wait, let me find this poem. I was trying to finish this poem the other day too, man, because I was looking at it and I'm like, this poem could be fire. Gonna be fire.
I'm going to order this shit because I want my daughter to have Dr. Seuss.
Yeah. Now this poem gonna be a book of matches when I finish, John.
A book of Okay, let me go up here and see some of these messages. From the Most High. That's right. You got a wow. You got that part. Come on, Coach John. Be still. Yep, be still. Be still. No, absolutely. Purpose. Preach. This right here, Kendra. Listen. You can't get to this now if you didn't go through that then. AJ, that's going to echo in my mind for the rest of my days.
but that's the truth. I don't know how else to say it. That's the truth.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
No, but check it out. No, that's not it. What the hell is it? Is that it? Oh yeah. I just want you to read the Insurrectionist Handbook, right? I started this poem. It was a joke. When I first heard they was retiring Dr. Seuss books.
Wow.
So, but it's not finished, but it's close. It says black is the most complicated color in your box of Dr. Seuss crayons. It is neither by accident or a Freudian slip of the tongue we find ourselves here on Capitol property, speaking in Confederate dialogue, arms raised, palms high, a Nazi salute away from dictatorship. Insurrections have a long history of results, but no one has ever thought of attempting one here. It is proper to write. Is it proper to write a manifesto before anything has been manifested?
Mm.
What is the expected content of an insurrectionist backpack? A flagpoles listed as weapons? Does hand ties come by the dozen? How do you spell hate with a southern drawl? What is nigger spelled backwards? Are all targets colored black at your shooting range? Who determined the correct way to strip votes from unwanted communities? Are they subtracted by county or zip code? Must a color be declared when saying their votes did not be counted, their ballots were not properly requested? Who authorized additional polling places? These are attempts for insurrectionists to have a coordinated approach to the removal of necessary parts left unprotected by the Supreme Court in the 15th Amendment. We would not recite the Star-Spangled Banner, the preamble, or any line directly from the Constitution. There will be no readings today, no new adventures of Huckleberry Finn or Tom Sawyer. No one will read to the children the absolute true diary of a part-time Indian. The sound has been removed from If I Ran the Zoo, McElligot's Pool, or Beyond the Zebra. All traces of Aunt Jemima boxes have been deleted from the threshold of old memories. Uncle Ben will remain sitting on the same shelf until the Senate decides by a 60-vote majority to ratify his freedom. And to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street.
Mm.
It is intriguing. Only now we discover the secret places American authors of past held references to color, how in certain circles, when darkness fell, and when the fire was high enough, when the word black, monkey, colored, nigger, and were synonymous, that ranged from the White House to the back pristine lawns of the newly owned and renovated plantations, in the hollowed chambers of a county court judges, sheriff's vehicles, and when the siren blares loudly. But that's all I got so far.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot of shit in there, bro. It's a lot of shit in there. Yeesh.
But those are the Dr. Seuss books. That was why I was writing it.
Okay, Miss Betty, I'll take it.
No, but I just love the idea. Like, okay, so we're gonna remove the sound from these books. Like they've been removed from the shelf, but I'm just gonna remove the sound out of them.
That's it, just the sound. There is, yeah, right, Miss Betty, on Mulberry Street, right. That reference was crazy. Kendra, look, this was Kendra as soon as you started. One thing that I do appreciate about both of those two, Kendra and Miss Betty too, is the way that they listen. They listen from a different aspect.
But see. Okay, let me tell you about Miss Betty and Kendra. See, Miss Betty read a poem. I heard her read a poem that she said that she wasn't gonna write. She hadn't written it in a long bunch of years, but she wrote this poem and she said, I don't know what people are gonna think of this poem, but she didn't write the poem. What happens is she started holding on to pens for whatever reason, and the pens began to write themselves. See, Kendra used to write, but she was held back by a book that other people told her what they said in the book. Then she started reading the book for herself and found out that it wasn't exactly what they told her it was. So the pen that she held started writing itself on the other book. So she created another book in comparison to the book. So she said, I'm writing kin scripts. I'm writing kin scripts now. So you can't tell me this ain't biblical. You can't tell me ain't no sanctuary on these pages. These ain't what God told told me to come tell y'all. Y'all need to sit down and put y'all handcuffs on yourself.
And do
we got the shit we about to be learning.
Yeah. Yeah. My God.
Tom, what up, man?
I tell you, man, I learned so much from working with these folks because Miss Betty has been writing some poetry that has been knocking me out off my socks. And I said, Miss Betty, I don't know. There's so much wisdom that she has and the way that she stacks her poems. I told her she don't even know her own magic. And Kendra is just a metaphoric genius, and she don't even understand how dope her metaphors are yet. I keep telling her, I said, when you finally realize your magic, you're gonna be she's gonna be something.
There was a series that was on recently. It was on what was it on? I'm trying to think. It was about this black family. It was about Black Wall Street. It was about all these. It was about these people that had this power, had this book. They was trying to get this magic because they was trying to do these things. And it was a series, but they had these two little pickaninnies, two little girls. And the girls, they had the pigtails going everywhere, had the big red lips. They were two little pickaninnies, and they was running down the street after the girl, and they would freeze. And it was like, it wasn't a horror, but it was written kind of like a horror. But the girls were so exciting and so frightening to watch. And to me, that's Kendra. Kendra is so exciting and frightening to watch because when she discovered what her truth sounds like, you don't know what burning crosses sound like when you write them down on a piece of paper. And I think Kendra writing burning crosses, and she ain't even a member of the Klan.
Kendra. There is, I keep telling there's I keep telling there's a magic in her pen. And the moment she really grabs it, she gonna know. She gonna know.
No, she got it because I heard it when she found it. And she didn't even know she was speaking bass for a day. It wasn't her speaking bass, it was the other voice behind the voice that she didn't know was the other voice. when she was reading her poem. I heard it. I just didn't want to say nothing about it because I didn't want to be the only one to point it out.
I just enjoy so much that I've learned from being around so many poets during this pandemic. My daughter's texting me, and my daughter started writing again, and she said, I said, well, what you writing? She said, oh, just writing down stuff. I was like, okay, good. I'm not gonna bother her. But what I'm doing, AJ, when I'm done, I've got to send you my other daughter's book, and this summer I'm going to do a book signing, and the book signing I'm going to have both of my daughters on stage with me because I'm going to do a book signing with both of their books, and I'm going to be overwhelmed with so much on that day. But that's going to be so exciting for me because I have both of my young queens with me on stage, and my homie's going to be in the crowd, and I know it's going to be great. You know, I know my daughter's mom is going to be there. Tamika Snap, she's going to be there. I mean, I know it's going to be crazy, but I'm so excited, looking forward to that because my daughter told me one time I was playing Jamie Foxx's song, and it said Jamie Foxx wrote a song for his daughter. And my daughter said, we sing it all the time, driving, I'm singing. I'm a Jamie Foxx fan. Dad, yeah, she said, Dad, why you never wrote me a song? And then later on, now that she's older, I brought that back to her attention. I said, well, now you can let Jamie Foxx's daughter ask her dad why he never wrote his daughter a book. And, you know, I mean, his song may live forever, but you're going to need some power to hear it.
Yeah.
You can read my book in the dark. Just turn on the flashlight.
Under a battery-operated candle.
Hey, wait till the sun come up.
No, John, but you was talking. I had a conversation with my daughters the other day, and it was a trip. I said, we're going to have a show about that because what they both said, that my mother never told us anything, but everything they were saying was things their mother would say. So it's kind of hard. So a lot of times people don't know how echoes work.
Oh boy.
And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but I always tell myself, repeating out the echoes will not make you a mountain, because mountains are the only things that repeat whatever's said, because you can yell somebody else's name and the mountain would throw it back at you.
Right back at you.
Thinking it's you. They would throw it back. You said, no, that's not my name. I just want to hear what it sounds like when they come back. But after that, you was talking about the book for your daughter. See, I have dedications in all my books for my kids, for my daughters, for everybody, their names in all the books. But I wanted to write something specific, but it's gonna be a troubled time, because the title I just wrote down, it's gonna be the title of a book of poetry, and I have no idea what's going in it. But the title is Abandonment Issues.
Yeah, that's going to be a heavy something, because who doesn't have that in some form or fashion?
Yeah, and you know what I discovered is that a lot of times, like you know, the children will only remember their immediate surroundings until the story comes back to them themselves.
Yeah.
Because they won't remember that you were there every day, that you cooked breakfast, that you did all this, that you washed all the clothes, that you did all this. And that's not something that you can tell them, and it would be a refresher kit.
Right.
You know, because you have to let somebody, you got to leave a nigga in the desert with no water to find out what thirst feel like. I don't know another way to put it.
Yeah.
You know, you say you want to know what it feel like to be thirsty? Get out here.
Get out here and just be there.
And I'll be back.
Yeah. There's stories that I think every parent should share with their child, and just be real. You know, I told my oldest son, and he just loved the streets a little.
No, but that's why I'm saying this, because we both got similar situations.
Yeah. And we definitely should have that conversation. That could be a whole show. And my youngest son, I talked. My youngest son, I feel bad for him because he's caught in the middle.
Yeah.
And he's like,
because he's trying to be good and bad at the same time.
And you know, he's a rapper, you know, and he's doing this thing, and so I challenge him now. I'll be like, well, I want to hear a rhyme. Would you rap about this and rap about that? And I throw that stuff at him. And I notice now he pops into lives and watch people perform and stuff now and then, and that makes me feel good. I shout him out and stuff like that when he does come in. And he's an Aquarius like Wits. Mm-hmm. Like both of my daughters are Aquarius too, and so they you know, there's some things that they learn that they have to, you know, fight through and stomach through that Aquarius people do. But it's amazing that some of the similarities I see in them, and I understand how to reach them, you know.
Yeah.
And my son, I'm just waiting, because I told him he need to come see me next month. I told him, he said, money's not the issue. It's not that. I said, well, then there ain't no damn issue. Let me know and get your ass here. I'll come pick you up at the airport. And so I'm really hoping that he makes it. He came to see me some years ago, but I want him to come back down. But that would be an amazing, emotional and very inspiring show for us to do that, AJ. We really need to do that.
Yeah, because I'm saying I don't think. See, I hear a lot of stories about fathers and about this and about that and about how people ain't, you know, he left, he didn't do this, he left it then. But okay, before he left, what was he to you? Do you know why he had to leave?
Did you know if he had to leave and why he had to leave. Exactly. That's the question.
Yeah. No, but what I'm saying is, see, these are conversations ain't nobody having.
Nobody having.
Because the thing is, you know, I always tell people, I say there's his truth, her truth, his lies, her lies,
yeah,
and the naked truth. So there's 5 parts of a story.
5 parts.
And everybody said there's only 3. No, there's 5 parts of the story, because there's some truth in what she knows, in what she's seen, but she only saw it from her perspective.
Her perspective. That's right.
There's some truth in what he said, but he only sees it from his perspective. But there's some lies intertwined in what he thought he said or what he thought he saw.
And so, you actually go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying, so we got these 5 parts of a story. So now I need to use my poeting skills to tell you how this story works, because I want to tell from your perspective and my perspective and show how they both tell the same story, but from 2 different gender sides. And that's the truth.
That's the truth. And the thing is, what the part of the stories with parenting, when they separate, that's missed, is it's not so much that people owning up to what they said or what they didn't say, but what did you refuse?
Yeah.
We don't talk about what we refuse to do. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm not doing it. I made
what wall are you still standing at?
Yeah, exactly.
Are you still standing at the Wailing Wall? You still standing at the Wailing Wall? You can't get past the Wailing Wall? You still crying right there? Did you put your note in there like you're in Israel? Did you put your note in the Wailing Wall so you can move past? Did you put your prayer in the bottom? Did you sign your prayer and did you burn it in the trash? What did you do with your prayer?
What did you do with your prayer? Because you don't have to tell it to me, right? Because I can't answer that prayer.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying because I'm gonna tell you what I did with my prayer, and it might be sitting in the same storage box.
It might be sitting right there. And so my biggest thing was we'll save it for that show, because that's gonna be a hell of a conversation piece. Because what parents have to do,
I'm gonna invite some people that don't want to show up.
I know.
I'm inviting people that want to show up, because see, my thing is I think it's time for people to just sit down and say, okay, let's talk. You know, because earlier today I was talking about how we as Black Americans, you know, you see those movies where you would say, okay, Tom has a drug problem. Okay, so what we're gonna do for Tom, we're gonna have all Tom's family, we have Tom workers, we're gonna have Tom's people that's been, you know, his people that's been trying to help Tom. We're gonna have all these people come at the house at the same time. So Tom's sitting there eating, then all these people start coming through the door, and he say, what is this, an intervention? So we need to have a Black folks intervention here in America.
Yeah.
We need to have all these Black folks in this one room with these locked doors with a chain on the outside so can't nobody get out, because we need to have an intervention. We need to fix some shit.
We need to fix a whole lot of shit. Exactly. A whole lot of shit. A whole lot of shit. And everybody, Dave Chappelle said the only reason why apartheid ended in South Africa the way it did, it wasn't a bloodshed, because people had to admit the shit they did. So not only in the Black community, we need to do it first. We need to admit our shit to each other. But America needs to admit her shit. And I say, oh, we know, but we're not going to have that conversation right now. We got more important shit. No. Admit your shit. Open up the books. Again, that goes back to what we was talking about before, with people saying that, this, you're getting that DNA check. Well, admit how you got how I get this Persian blood in me and this Switzerland people. How did I get that there? Don't tell me, oh, this is your family. No, because my family wasn't living in the big house. My blood originally was in the cold. It was cracks in the door. The snow was the leak. The ceiling was, the roof was leaking. We were sleeping next to the dogs like y'all was doing in the caves. That's what we did. Y'all figured y'all could live through it. We can too. That's a whole nother story. I'm sorry, y'all. But if we're gonna tell the truth, right? Let us talk about the truth.
Let us talk. My dad would always say, "Tell the truth, shame the devil."
Shame the devil. My pastor was adopted, and he said, as an adult, he realized God placed him with people who are anointed to raise him.
But But Kendra, that's what that then is.
That's what that then we was talking about. That's right, AJ.
Yeah, that's what that then is. That then is us not having the know or the wherewithal to understand that we had to be in that then to get to this now.
Get to this now.
Because this now, I always tell, I told a friend today, I said, look, man, I say, it took me a while to build this me right here. I'm saying, I could tell you how fine pieces of him laying around my life through these days. I can tell you where I find these pieces of me and how I put them together and why they sound like they sound. I say, but every other me I've ever been is still in his body. So it's a bunch of them you don't want to meet.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of me's you don't want to know, where he came from, where he is, or how he talks. Or
don't invite that nigga to dinner. I'm trying to tell you.
Really, I don't even invite him to dinner when I'm eating.
I'll be looking at him like, you seen the movie The Hurricane?
Yeah.
And he was sitting in his talks, shut up. Shut the fuck up. I'll be doing that all the time. Let me go get in the shower and wash this nigga off. He got to brush his teeth or something.
No, but I'm telling you, man, you have no idea. Just like I was telling you earlier, I'm gonna let everybody know. You can go back and look at this live. Let me see. My best friend's name was Jamal Clark. We've been best friends for forever. I'm saying when he was going through troubles with his marriage, he'd come and stay at my house. He can come anytime he wanted to, sleep on my couch, sleep up in my guest bedroom, whatever. He was welcome. So when he moved from Texas to New Orleans, back to where his mother was, and he was there, so I went to New Orleans a bunch of time, hung out with him. We spent 3 years ago now. 3 years ago, we spent New Year's in Biloxi. Because me and my girl was going to Biloxi. I said, yo, man, here's some money, pay whatever you got to pay for your taxi. Because I had a little money at the time. I gave him money, pay his fees for the taxi. Here's money for gas. Here's some spending cash. Come down, hang with us. I got the hotel, got dinner, got everything. You don't need nothing. So he came down in the hotel. We was going to stand with the IP hotel, the big hotel, for New Year's, for the New Year's gala and stuff they had. But 2 days before that, I had to stay at the Holiday Inn because the IP wasn't ready. So we stayed at the Holiday Inn, we hanging out. Then we went to Biloxi, hung out. So I'm saying all this to get to the point that me and this brother, we did everything. Every poem I've written up until this last book, he done read every poem in every book. To listen to every poem being created in every book and all these things. And that's the type of relationship we had. 3 a.m, 7 a.m, it didn't matter. He would call me when he was thinking, he said, yo, man, I got this riff, because he was a battle rapper. He freestyle. He was dope. He was a poet. But so he passed April of last year. And it was hard because I was working on some shit. And my first thoughts always was, let me call Josh, see what he think about this shit. So when my girl told me the other day, she say, let me tell you how good God is. And I'm like, okay, so, like, okay, I'm sitting here. Tell me how good God is. Let me know. Just tell me your version of how good God is. She say, God knew that he removed a job from your life that you depended on for a whole bunch of shit. So what he did, he looked on the East Coast and saw another job. So he picked that one up, sent him streaming through this internet meter and sent him to your phone and to your live and to these places and introduce you like this. So he added another job in your life. Let me tell you how good God is. And I couldn't argue shit. I couldn't say nothing about it. I ain't had nothing to say to it. I was like, God's good all the time. All the time, God's good. I had to echo, what people were saying, because that's the blessing you are to me, is that the only way I can say anything about you is like Faye told me, let me tell you how good God is.
Wow.
And that's my whole sermon for the day, is that ain't no accidents. It's just sometimes we don't see the collision.
Yeah. Wow. That the moment when you told me that, it had not left me. That echo. I was telling Tamika, I was like, look what AJ told me his woman said, man. Look, like how do you, how do you once that seed is planted, how do you not water that? You don't have no choice. You water that shit when you sleep. You just roll over, just pour on that shit. It's not an everyday fiasco, if you would, right? You're not gonna. That's a once in a lifetime situation. You know what I mean? And to have someone say that about your person, y'all know, I always give so much credit to my mom because of what she had created us to be. Of course, my father played his part as well, but we were groomed more with my mom. And even when she had, another man, her grooming of myself and her sons and her daughters that's all we knew. And she had groomed us in a way to be, because we are her, right? You are your ancestor. Your ancestors came together for you to come. And so when I speak, I'm both of my parents. I look just like my dad anyway, but I'm both of my parents. But it was a nurturing that she can personally say she handcrafted. I got a poem that says, "Grandma's hands made me magic," because my grandmother gave my mother what she did, and we called my mother Granny because she's a grandmother, but she molded me into the magic that I call myself today, that other people call me today. And to be that, I say I have to be grateful to the Creator, because he was the one who handcrafted us all, right? Yeah. And so to be that is a blessing, AJ. To be that is a blessing, and I'm so honored to be that, and I hope I can fill those shoes, at least close. Yeah. They're more than a foot, more than an inch. I can't do it. If they want something, I can't do it.
No, he was 6'5".
Oh dang! I gotta lay down in them shoes.
No, but it's not even that. See, because what happened is the way you write has such exponential growth in the sentences that you structure that imaginations can't handle the weight of the lines every now and then. Sometimes you just got to sit back and say, okay, so I got to ask the spirit Jah, what the hell is this Jah talking about?
Wow.
So, but no, man, I'm saying it's amazing to me, because I got friends that are dope ass poets, but I'm saying you and Wits to me, it's like there's something about this right now.
Come on.
See, I don't know if people understand, see, you could talk about some shit about, what you're going through, what you've been through, where you are, but there's something about this right now that this right now is so much more profound than any other right now has ever been. And this right now matters so much that we're in the midst of creating, of changing, of constructing, of redirecting a whole lot of things with this portrait that we're writing, right, with these conversations that we're having. And it's only our history that has us prepared for this present.
Yeah. Because this right now is a serious right now. There is so much magic in this right now. So I told you I was coming from, I went to get my eye exam today, get my glasses and stuff like that. Really happy about, because I didn't realize how bad I can't see.
Until they say read the third line.
I said, wait a minute, there's a third line. and let me tell you what's crazy, right? So I was explaining to him that I have this damage because of the bullet that went through my face, and he showed me the damage and everything. He showed me the nerve and everything. Showed me where the damage was, and it's different from when I saw my stuff years ago. because the technology is so super. And I actually get to see the damage. But what I found out was the damage that I saw last time was only a piece of the damage that's actually there. And he showed me that this other spot that's causing most of the thing was before. And so he's showing me how off the vision was, right? And AJ, I ain't gonna lie, I said, okay, yeah, I can see better with that one. Yeah, I can see good with that one. And he said, okay, now I'm gonna show you where you walked in as, and then I'm gonna show you what you're gonna see now. And the only reason why I shake his hand because of COVID, I wanted to hug that motherfucker. I ain't gonna lie, because I know that I was legally blind driving.
Damn.
I know that shit now. I said, oh, man. I said, I could really see now. And I didn't understand that. But you know, the irony in how, I'm gonna take it back to poetry. You don't see clearly until you actually sit back and realize what you're looking at. When you focus in, or you see some shit. And I didn't learn that. I'm gonna tell you, like I told you earlier, like me and Witz talk about all the time. A lot of the way I write now, right? Because I've grown in writing since we've met, and since I've listened to you, and I've heard how there is a way that you say the ancestors. Every time you say a poem and you mention the ancestors in it, there's something that goes off inside of me. And I don't know what the alarm is. What to tell you, because we had this conversation. I don't know what the alarm is, but it's alarm, and I have to write something down. Every time you say ancestors, the ancestors, and anytime you say that, and sometimes you don't have to say the words. It's just the way that you live. And I'm like, oh shit, wait a minute, where's my pen at? I gotta put something down. So I've grown so much more in such a short span of time, just with the interaction that we've had. Yeah, see what I'm saying? Like, you got I told you, I went and bought 5 composition books and 2 packs of loose leaf paper. And I bought 3 packs of pens. I'm ready. I got shit. I can roll out of my bed right now and just write some shit down and go back to sleep.
Yeah. Now, Rosa may say, wow, that was profound. That applies in general. You don't see it until you see it, even when it's always been there.
Yeah.
And I think what our connection, I know what it's taught me is that now I can actually, if I'm talking about a street, I can see the June bug by the yellow line.
Yeah, come on. That's what I'm talking about.
On its way off the road.
Yeah.
So now I can see so many things that instead of just referencing the street, there's so many things that I see that I didn't know was there until now.
Yeah.
Because right now I've learned that there's a certain something that you don't know until you know.
Until you know.
And sometimes you don't even know till you read that shit back.
Who you telling? I be sitting back and saying, I wrote that shit. Listen, AJ, when I wrote, you told me to go write that Who Am I poem. Because remember, I didn't see it until you told me. You said, no, Josh, just go. Whatever come out, just go with it. Just whatever come out. And I went back and read that shit. I was like, man, I did the Moody Black. I was throwing the pen at my screen. Because you don't know. You don't know until it's out. I don't know where the words came from.
Yeah, that's something you don't know till you read it back. Because what I've learned is that when you give way to, whether you want to call it God, the creator, or creativity, or to poetry, or whatever it is that you've discovered this gift, when you give way to this gift, you will write a line that's not the origin of you. That's why I tell people, I say, if I write something that teaches me something, it can't be an origin of myself.
It can't be, because I learned from something I did. No, it can't be.
But exactly. I'm saying, so my job is to hold this pen and point it toward a piece of paper. And sometimes Okay. Okay. What you got?
Listen, sometimes that's some scary stuff, man.
Yeah, because you said my name going on it.
Who writes those kind of things down? You know what I mean? I'm 6 feet on top of a grave site. I'm the coast that slave ships violated, where God didn't see the kidnapping. Who writes that stuff?
Now that image, that's stillable, but that image is stillable. But in I'm not saying I'm a still it. Oh, Rosemary said, when I listen to you two, it affects my remain brain. I don't know why I don't have a pen and paper when you two talk. So many jewels. Thank you, Rosemary. Thank you. No, I'm saying it's stillable. It's stillable. Not that I'm gonna take it or anything. I'm just saying that it's in a box to be translated.
There you go.
Yeah, it's in a box to be translated. So
they're gonna read the thing, but it's gonna say the same shit.
Yeah, it's in a box to be translated. Like I don't know what it's gonna look like when it come out. Hopefully, it don't have Ja's name attached and shit.
Oh man, yeah, man.
In the box to be translated, I guess that is a way of saying that I'm still in that shit.
I'm still in.
But no, man, it's such an honor, man. But that piece is fire for real, man. That piece is fire because I had to wake Faye up and read it to Faye.
It's there's times where you write some shit and it wake you back up and you be like, let me make this. Did I write that shit? Ain't no way I wrote that. I ain't write that. I couldn't have. And then what really moves me is that I've been around some poets that I think are amazing writers that have won some awards but they jackasses. And I think poetry tells them how big their male parts are. I think that's why they write poems, because they feel like it extends them.
Rosa May says, stealing, that's what great teachers do. It's like when I was working on that piece about that present piece I'm working on. And even what kind of poet are you piece?
Yeah, look at Miss Betty.
Now she said hollering at each other. Now when in the line of what kind of poet are you, when it says what kind of Jesus are you, and it's like, because I hear so many poets talk about this being a gift and that poetry saved their lives and all these other things. So I'm like, if that's the case, shouldn't we be able to write some words that can save somebody else's life?
Somebody else's life. Exactly that.
So, but if you can't, then what kind of Jesus are you? Can you water this wine? Can you
tell me what walking on water means, right? So I've not written I enjoy writing pieces that tell somebody else, oh, I got to get up and go do something. I got to do something. And it doesn't mean they have to go write something, but just I need to do something better than what I'm doing now, something other than what I'm doing right now. Those are the poems I love to write. I want to write a poem, make you go read a book. But that can't be. Let me see.
Now I want to write a poem to make you go research. Like, he can't be telling the truth.
Exactly.
Now, wrote the message. Do poets ever write pieces together? Yes, they do. Yeah. We gonna work on something. We gonna surprise you with some pieces that we coming up with.
No. We ain't gonna surprise you. We gonna mess y'all the hell up with the shit we can write.
But John, my favorite line about walking on water is in the poem. Say, it says, I keep hearing Lewis, Attucks, Barack, my father yelling, "Don't walk on the water. It's not drinkable. Those chemicals make your skin fall off. Those fish can't fry, can't bake, won't die." And it's like they pause. And the idea is that they pause in the water because they know we can walk on it. They don't want anybody else to see our glory.
They don't want to. Yeah. If water is in everything pretty much that you've known, right? No, let's take it back further than that. Was having a conversation online and somebody was talking all this. I said, The problem with Black people is that we've been taught to externalize who and what God is.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, I'll give you proof that you are from the earth. Everybody got quiet. I said, you get gold stones. You know, they're actually stones. That ain't some made up shit. Stones. Do you eat dirt? You don't eat dirt. How does a stone grow in something that dirt never existed? And so if your God, if your creator had not built you from that, then that wouldn't be in you.
Mm-hmm.
So how can you externalize what made you what you are right now? You can't externalize it. But that's what we have misunderstood religion for.
Well, you know, I take it as when somebody else knows about the greatness and the potential of you, all they want to do is make sure you never see how potential grows.
Mm.
They don't want you to mirror that greatness, what it looks like, or see somebody else that had that greatness. So every leader we had, we celebrate the day of their assassination. So they don't want to celebrate you. It's like it's like George Floyd, like George. They say we don't know what a Black man is worth until he's subtracted from his family.
Come on.
Until he can family no more, because they say he worth $27 million. But he was killed over them trying to discover a fake $20 bill. So tell me, she said, now you're going to have to repeat
that. Hey, Strange.
but no, I'm saying they don't want us to discover what greatness is and see what they couldn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
It's COVID shutting shit down.
Shutting shit down.
And when COVID shut shit down, they thought everything was okay. But when the deer and the antelope played in the places that they used to live, and people saw this, and the mountains cleared up, and the sky cleared up, and the smoke went back home, and the pollution stopped and stayed. And then we found these streaming services to where you can discover people on other planets and other continents, and discover writers in all these places. And you say, look, we kind of sound the same, so we kind of need to talk. Then you start saying, let's write these things, and you start writing things, and you start doing poetry, and you start saying, that shit is dope. Man. That shit is fire. It's like what you do, man. You walk around with a box of matches, like you just burning shit up. But see, this was something they couldn't stop. This was an unforeseen glory. Yeah. That people could connect and become brothers in spirit and pen and writing and paper, beyond the realm of them letting us be. And this is different. Didn't nobody predict this?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. And then on top of that, let's add the exclamation mark. Poetry went to the highest.
Wait. Rosa May she say, you have an anointing for real. I always feel like I'm getting ready to run a mile when I listen to you.
But AJ, poetry went to its highest state in a long time during this pandemic. Think about that. Think about how far poetry went during this pandemic. Not only talking about the White House, not even talking about America's Got Talent. Where can you go ever in history? And everywhere you go, there was poetry all day long. There is poetry all day long. There's an open mic
on each continent.
On
each continent.
Yeah.
In each language.
You got people from Australia trying to stay up just to come get a dose. Nigeria.
people from the UK on here right now. Like, okay, so let me. People from India.
Yeah,
it's in the Bible.
And see, now we're in a position where, okay, put me in, I don't want to see. I'm getting some information from some folks who can. AJ, listen to me very carefully. Not only am I going to have names of slave ships that we didn't know about. I'm trying to get research that we would never have gotten if we didn't know anybody who lived over there where the ships are being have been written up in the books. You know, I got some people working on some information, bro. When I give it to you, I'm not giving it to everybody because I don't need you to. We're not gonna make a mockery of what we've been through. I'm talking about being able to tell you how many people was on the ship and the time of day they left. That's the kind of information I'm getting.
And check this out, John. The first transatlantic slave museum was built in the UK.
In the UK.
There's two of them. I sent 2 copies of the Black Book of Black when I finished it. To them with a press kit, a bio, and everything. To those, hey, would you carry this book? And I didn't hear anything back. It's 3. She's sweet. In Belgium, she says 339.
Listen.
Over here. So she was telling you what you were saying about people staying up. But there's 339 over here. So yeah. But I'm in the first transatlantic slave museum that have original artifacts from ships.
Yeah.
And I jokingly, I didn't jokingly, I know that there's been boards found of ships on the East Coast. In the Alabama area, there were chains found from slave ships that they found in the water and on shore. So me saying that there are remnants of slave ships on these places, and my idea is that there were spirits of our ancestors holding these things intact, so we can find them. And I used to tell them that those little houses you see on the side of the road that's way off, that's dilapidated, that you don't know what's holding them up, that might be shaking in the wind. I say there's spirits of my ancestors holding that building together so I can see it, because there's something about that building I need to know.
But you need to know. I am in AJ. We're gonna have those. That all that in the UK over there. What that museum over there? Oh, brother, listen. When I tell y'all, coach be working, I'll be working. I'm in contact with some folks who's getting me in contact with some folks who are the contact folks for the people over here from over there. That's about all I can give you for right now.
That's a clear statement I can make.
That's a clear I can make. But I'm getting some information that we have been forbidden to have about us. And when I get that information, oh man, I'm making the call again tonight because I need to check an email and stuff too. But there's some things that, and this is no hit at anybody who's writing. I'm not saying your writing isn't good writing. I just, for what I need the writing to be, I have to have specific people because that's what the writing calls for. But the shit we get ready to drop, oh man. I said that my legacy should be, I'm 400, 500, 800 years after my death, and there's a kid reading something that I left for him to get.
Now I'm gonna tell you, my first book, the story behind my first book was that.
Yes.
And title of the book is Gifts from My Pen, right? And I really felt it was good for my pen, but the story behind the book is that I wanted everybody that know me, all my children, all my family, my cousins, everybody to know that, like in the Bible, when all these gifts was given to these people, and one gift was given to a person, he buried it in the sand so he would know where the gift was when they asked where the gifts were.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them to know that I could point to where my gifts are. I'm writing all these books because I want them to see what's up, Michael Hubbard. Now, I want them to know all these books I'm writing, all these books I'm working on, that they're not for me. They're for, presidents have libraries. I'm just gonna have a book of libraries, a book that will fill a library. See, I don't think I'm gonna have a library, but I'm gonna have enough books to fill a library. That's my goal.
That's it.
There's a Black Archives Museum in Amsterdam with a lot of Black history never taught in schools. You need to send me that information. That's me cool.
Listen, send the information. Send it
information. Definitely, because I'm trying to get. I want to come back to Amsterdam. I've been to Amsterdam before, but I want to go back. But send me that information for sure. Appreciate it, because we definitely gonna meet tomorrow and talk about the other thing. Yeah. But I really think that you have to greet yourself. You have to greet yourself at the level you want to reach.
That's it. That's it.
Before you can reach the level that you want to reach. And you got to talk to yourself about some shit, because this just know this ain't finna be easy. This ain't finna be the writing that you're gonna do. You got definitely leave a legacy. See, when you greet yourself, understanding like look, self, I know what we did yesterday. And I know how far your chest stuck out when you finished what you did yesterday. But today, that ain't shit.
That ain't nothing. That's over.
You know, it's like I believe in the Janet Jackson theory of evolution. Don't you remember when Janet said, "What have you done for me lately?" I believe in the Janet Jackson theory of evolution. What have you done for me lately? Ask my pen. What the hell have you done for me lately?
You know, it's funny. I was going to say, you know, Ali beat Sonny Liston. He beat Frazier. He beat Foreman. Ken Norton. He beat a lot of people. But he always felt like he had somebody else to beat.
Yeah.
My pen wrote a lot of poems. A hell of a lot. I wrote a lot of shit down. I wrote a lot of words. But still some more shit coming. Yeah.
But John, let me tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you a story I ain't told nobody.
Okay.
My father didn't believe me. Me and my brother, every summer we would walk with some other people in the neighborhood. We walked to Big L swimming pool. And we had to walk through a couple of communities, walk across this big giant apartment complex, and walk through all the way to the back, and then across the street, and then around some houses. And sometimes the pool was closed, so we'd climb the fence and go swimming. But we'd always get kicked out and shit. But we knew we was gonna be back tomorrow. But anyway, we was on our way to the pool one day, and there was this big group of people making this noise, walking, and we stopped because we all want to know what the noise is about. We all want to know where it's coming from. And it was Ali. Like Ali was doing in German. Ali Kumbaya this.
Wow.
It was Ali with all these people following him, and he's walking, joking, making all this noise. So Ali stopped at us.
Wow.
Ali looked at me, and he just started. He said, "Put your hands up." And Ali was shadow boxing with me and tapped me on the head and tapped me in the stomach, and he was doing all this. And I'm looking at my brother because I don't know what's going on. And Ali, because I remember Ali saying, he said, "Boy, you pretty like me, boy. You pretty like me. Check this out. You pretty like me. Put your hands up, play." And the whole time he's sitting there playing with me, so I didn't know who he was. So we went to the pool. That Saturday, he had a fight on TV.
Wow.
My father's sitting there watching the fight. I walked by the living room. I'm looking at TV. I said, "Daddy, that's that man I told you was hitting on me."
Wow.
And my dad said, "Boy, you lying. Get your ass out of here." But it was only recently my brother told my mother that he said, "Yeah, I remember when we was walking through the apartments and Ali was over there playing with Jeff."
Wow.
I'm like, and that to me was so amazing that when I knew who he was, and I'm like, there was so many people out there that stopped and took time with and played with. But because I remember he was just tapping on my head, you know, hands was quick. So and I couldn't do nothing because ain't nothing you can do. But he tapped on my side and he was doing it. He said, "Boy, what's up? You pretty like me, boy. You pretty like me." Because my hair was a little reddish, you know, and my skin was lighter, my eyes are light brown. At least it was at the time. But he told me, "You pretty like me, boy. You pretty like me." And I was joking, you know, I'm looking at my brother like, why you let this man be hitting on me like that? But I didn't know who he was till I saw him boxing, and my dad didn't believe me.
Wow.
But that, and I'm like, I remember it vividly, and it's like to tell somebody they wouldn't believe it.
You won't believe it.
No. But when my brother told my mother told me, she said, "Oh, I remember when you told me that." And she said, "And I remember when your daddy said, you lying, boy."
Wow. I can't even imagine that. I always wanted to meet Ali. I believe my dad met him when my dad was boxing. Because my dad won the Golden Gloves when Tommy Hearns won the Golden Gloves.
Oh man, yeah.
So yeah. So yeah. Man, AJ, I can't believe we've been on here for 3 hours.
I know, I just saw that.
Yeah.
But you know something, man, it's amazing how we didn't even have a list. The only thing we scheduled to talk about was the DNA thing.
Right, Kendra. Right, touched by greatness. Right. That's why he write like that. God damn it. I'll leave him knock chips out of your head.
but I'm saying, but everything.
AJ, that's the poem, bro. That's the poem. That's the poem. That's the prompt.
Touched by greatness. Damn it, I wasn't finna write nothing else on this paper.
Here's my pen so heavy because Ali knocked some sense into me when I was 12.
Damn.
Yeah, I done set you up right there. You set yourself up. You told the story. Oh, man. Kendra, is that not the prompt? The night Ali knocked the shit out of me? I remember when Ali hit me. That's how I remember when Ali hit me. Oh my God, I can't wait for that poem, AJ.
No, but I'm gonna tell you, man. But
she said that goddamn job gave him another writing problem. He don't need no more.
but I was gonna be writing anyway, so I might as well have some directional arrows and shit.
Yeah.
Some glow in the dark signs. See what you give me is like glow in the dark signs. You know how you're trying to sleep, but that flashing sign doesn't be. Like no rest for the weary.
None.
Thank you. And that was Sekou. Sekou, he had some. Sekou is the only poet making 6 figures I know per performance.
Yeah. I heard Mums died.
Yeah, I saw the list. Somebody said that it was Black Ice that died. I saw a picture of Mums, so I was trying to figure out. I haven't.
Black Ice ain't died because I would have got that call. It can't be Black Ice. I would have got that call.
Yeah, because I'm saying I was trying to see because I saw the picture. I'm like, that's not Black Ice.
Yeah, Black Ice didn't die. I would have got that phone call.
You know, but I'm saying I didn't say anything about it because if I can't verify some information, you're not gonna hear it from me.
Right. I heard.
I saw the picture of Mums. I saw the picture of Mums on the screen. Somebody sent me a thing and said Black Ice died.
No, it's
and
not.
I hadn't seen anything about Black Ice been dead. I hadn't seen anything saying Mom's dead. But I'm like, I didn't touch it
somewhere.
I'm saying that was the picture. I'm saying, but I didn't touch it because I'm saying I got to go read for myself. Yeah. I would never, Rosamay, thank you so much. I would never pass on information that I hadn't verified myself as though it's something that I know.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So yeah, man, we've been on 3, and I gotta take my baby to get something to eat, man. You know, we ain't so I don't know. I ain't told her, but there's this new Japanese restaurant down the street called Ja something. That's strange, ain't it?
Oh wow, how about that?
Ja. It's called Old Ja, I think.
Old Ja.
Because I still got part of this memory where I can see stuff that I've seen before, and I just stop and think, and I can see the picture. Got that recall, but I'm gonna take a picture. I think it's Old Ja.
Can you see that?
Yeah.
So he did pass.
Okay.
They got a couple of stories out that he did pass. I didn't know he was a poet at first.
Oh no, he started out a poet.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I checked that.
No, I remember he started out a poet. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did hear that. But like I said, I knew they couldn't have told me Black Ice passed. I would have got a phone call on that one.
Yeah, I'm saying I didn't say nothing because I'm like, I got to research that, and I just came. Time I brought my baby from the dentist, I came right here and logged on. So I'm not sharing information I don't know nothing about.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. I know that I'm gonna have glasses. I'm gonna be able to see in about a week. So y'all asses is in trouble. Man, I didn't realize how bad my eyes were until I got, man, when he said, this is how you walked in, and this is how your glasses gonna work. I wanted to kiss that man. I said, you gotta be kidding me. What kind of magic? But he did take a picture of my eyes, the back of my eyes, and then I could see the damage. And then because the bullet went downward, there's a lot of damage at the bottom of the eye. But he said the stress of the bullet had did some damage right behind the pupil, right underneath, and so that's what makes the big damage with the vision loss.
But you know something? You know something I hadn't told you before.
What's that?
I didn't tell you this before. I'm gonna tell you what blessings sound like. Blessings sounds like that he showed me the damage in the back of my eye and how my sight is going. Not that if it was up a little higher that I wouldn't have no sight at all.
Right. Right.
See, I'm trying to tell you what blessings sound like when they don't come out as blessings. When it comes out as trouble, as tragedy. I'm gonna tell you what blessing sounds like when tragedy made a blessing into a happening.
Yeah. Let me share this other story, and I'm gonna let you go. Let me share this story. When I got shot, right? When I was in the hospital, I woke up from the anesthesia, and one of the surgeons walked in, and I'm looking in this man's face, and I'm saying, man, this man looks so familiar. And so I'm thinking that, yes, I do know. I'm looking at this, and I'm saying, where do I know this man's face from? And I'm thinking he was the doctor who was working on me. And I'm looking, and he gets close to me, and he said, I had to walk over to see this was you because I cannot believe this is you. And I said, I wasn't talking at the time because I had tubes in here and something going down my throat. And so I wrote everything down on a piece of paper. And I wrote, are you my doctor? And he said, fortunately, I'm not, because the bullet wasn't about 1.5 inches higher, because then I would have been your surgeon. And I'm looking, he said, you might not remember. He said, you probably remember me because I was your 9th grade science teacher, Dr. Edward Alcott. I can't find this man. I'm trying to find this man. I can't find him nowhere. He said, I could not believe that this is you here. And he said, here's my number. You call me when you get out of here. He said, because you're not going to die here. You're going to go home. I remember that man said that to me. Broke me down to something that I did not know. And I called him a few times before, but I had to move again, and I lost his number. But that man was my science teacher, and I loved his class. I don't even give a damn about science like that at the time. But his class, I went to his class in high school. And the blessing that I didn't flinch and get hit higher, he would have been my surgeon. And he saw my name on the list and came to see me. And I was like, man, that blew my mind. And he didn't have to come check on me. He can, that shit, I ain't going over there. And man, but I'm trying to find this doctor. If anybody knew research, Dr. Edward Alcott, I can't find him. I've been trying for years. Man, but man, imagine that.
Let me tell you, man. And to me, the biggest blessing is the one that Faye told me. How you got here?
Yeah.
Faye told me how you got here. Because I'm saying we can both tell stories on how we might not have been in this now.
Yeah.
But those thens are the only thing that brought us to this right now, to gave us this ability to write these gifts, to tell these stories, to pen these pictures, to draw this moat around this castle of thought.
Yeah.
Because every now and then somebody will come and tell you something you hadn't expected. And you can see the greatness in their voice, the greatness in their pen, the greatness in the way they hold, the greatness in the way the ink lays on the paper so nicely, like it's just resting there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to me, man, that's you, my brother, man. I appreciate you, man. It's a blessing, man.
That's us, bro. That's us. Ain't no damn me in that. That's us. Because when I pick up this damn Black Book of Black, and I'm still working on Still Black, and you know, I got all my books over here. You know, I keep all my stuff close by. It's funny. I got a double. My uncle passed away. He gave me this is one Quran, but it's in two books because it's a lot of footnotes.
Mm-hmm.
My uncle passed. This was gifted down to me, and so I keep that close by. But I have all my poetry books of all the poets that I love and that I met online, and it's just an honor to be able to have this many books of poets who you know, and this is just one stack, you know.
But see, I'm saying I keep close to me. Today was Wednesday morning read share anyway, so
yeah.
This is just one that's up here. So yeah, I'm with you.
And so
let me show y'all too. This is just one stack of books by poets that we know, that we hang with, that we met. But I always tell, you know, because to me, man, I like Wednesday morning read share because I always tell people, like, we have people buying people's books that don't read the books they bought. So my goal is to get you to open a book that you bought from one of your new favorite poets that you found here online, that you met here on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter or wherever you met him, a Zoom live or streaming or StreamYard or Restream or whatever. But you've met somebody that touched you in a way with some words. So now your job is to let somebody else know that this same person can touch them with some words too. So you got to share the information, because when we began to build this community as loyalists to the word, because when they say in the beginning was the word, there had to be a poet present.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I know.
So yeah.
Yo, man, let me go and give my baby something to eat, man.
Yeah,
but
listen, man, I love you. I appreciate you so much, man. It's an honor, and just doing this, being able to help us help our community. It's a blessing to have you here, brother. I appreciate you so much. And yes, definitely go feed her, because I don't want no beef.
Definitely.
I want to blame it, Ja.
No, but I love you, man. Thank everybody for coming through, man. I appreciate it. This is 10 times now. Myself and Coach Ja, we do this every Thursday, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Yeah. And if you want us to have a conversation, just send what you want us to talk about. If you got somebody that running for office, or you got somebody that want to talk about, you know, voting, or talk about public speaking, or talk about whatever, send them our way. We'll talk to anybody about anything. We ain't scared of no bears.
Yeah, we're scared of no bears. You better get in and help the bear. I so appreciate everybody on IG. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Yeah, I know you got to be sleeping if in Australia, because I know it's late over there. So thank you so much for coming in. And we here every Thursday. Definitely come through. Y'all know tomorrow morning, Coffee Time with Coach Ja. I'll be there ready.
Coffee Time with God. Coffee Time with Coach Ja every morning, 10 a.m. Eastern time on YouTube. YouTube channel is Coach Ja.
Yeah, you can find me anywhere. Coach Ja everywhere. AJ, we reading poems in the morning again. So if you up, come on and read a poem, man.
I'm gonna try and finish this this one right here with the drug of choice.
Got you. I'm doing some writing tonight. I just don't know what it's gonna be, but I got all these damn notes over here now. Thank you.
Sweet cool kid. I need you to meet Coach Ja too, because man, he's this my dog. Thank you so much for being up this late, you know, for hanging out, for chilling with us, for the comments. And yeah, definitely blessings and be excellent. Thank you so much.
Yeah. All right, AJ, go ahead and get that dinner and stuff, because you know people got to eat.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. And not late.
Yeah, that part. I love you, man, and we'll talk a little bit later, of course. You know how we do.
Okay, love you too, man.
Good night,
work on that piece. I'm gonna work on this one.
Okay, I will.
Okay,
All right,
peace.